for giving away all kind of free dope just in random
Uh,
conversations.
yeah, but no, Doug said that was comedy back in the day. That wasn't just what a lot of black men chose to do. Yeah, I mean that goes as far from my knowledge. That takes me all the way back to, like I said, Tony Curtis, Jack Lemmon. Some like it hot, dressing in women's clothing. So that's just what a lot of people felt they had to do to be funny. That was funny. But you have so many people now who have gotten to this century and
I hear you.
said, nah, I'm cool on that. So yeah, it is what it is though. Yeah. You there or you look frozen? We rocking and rolling. You frozen? I don't know if anybody's logging in. Give us a second. This is part two of yesterday. Give us a second. We got a few technical difficulties going on, and DJ Agony is on it, trying to get some things rectified. So let's just bear with us. Just 1 second. If anyone's joining, just give us a second. I'm communicating via my phone because it looks like we have technical difficulties from it could be the actual platform. Yeah, we're going live. We're live, and I'm the only one up. So stay tuned. We're going to end this right now, and then we're going to come back. Okay? Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Yo, all right. Well, I am back for a second. See how long this lasts. Is yeah, I've been over here. Me and Parker been over here fighting technology, and see, like now, oh, I guess I'm here. I don't know what's going on, y'all. We got a good show planned and everything, and had a good pre-show workout, and then yeah, and now this. Um, she'll be rejoining us momentarily. There she go, right there.
Yeah.
Boom, and she is here. Yeah, but I don't know what the hell going on. I've actually been kicked out twice.
Yeah, well, like I said, that's what I did when it kicked you out that time and it was still going live. I just hopped out of it and just let everyone know if you're here, just bear with us. So
I think it's too much. It's hot tonight. We got like hot fish grease tonight. That's what it is. And the internet's like, no, we can't take it.
I,
No,
I
help us
guess.
all. You know. Uh, um, yeah, that red box in the corner says that we are live. So what's good, people? We trying tonight. It is your two-time ATL hottest DJ. Your host DJ Agony, also known as Dr. Dope. Well, my motto is simple: own the building. And I know y'all thinking like, man, we just saw you yesterday. I know it. And you see me today. And if I feel like it, tomorrow. It is what it is. When you own your own media platform, guess what? You can go live as many times a week as you want.
That part.
So I did. And I got my favorite co-host and esteemed over here to my left side. Even though it may look like I'm pointing at a wall, no, it's really I'm pointing to the side of the screen. The Teddy for who you is, shouter.
But the name, like I always say, the name is on the screen. Reading is fundamental. No, I'm playing. Miss Parker coming to you again. Other part of the planning period, looking to maybe pick up a little bit where we left off yesterday. Yesterday was very much needed. A lot of time went into honoring fathers. And, we touched a little bit on just our civil rights activists as well as the honoring and recognizing the different events that transpired around the nation for Juneteenth. But really it really became a positive platform as we highlighted fathers and how it is so important that our men just get their just due. Now, like I said yesterday, and I'll say it again as many times as I can, that I actually did. I pretty much took a moment and I just went over who's in my world, who's in my realm, who do I allow within my bubble in terms of my world. And when I think about the people that I had come in contact with, whether it's close colleagues, play brothers, brother-in-laws, cousins, people that I've dated, exes, whomever. I don't have a deadbeat father, an absentee father in the midst. None whatsoever. These are men who I've seen give it their all and want no credit because they feel I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. So, I'm just definitely that person who believes when you have people that don't necessarily want the shout out, that you shout them out. So, yesterday was all about primarily honoring our fathers, and men, you all deserve so much more. So, that's why you're looking at us again, part two, to really kind of touch on the topic. And we hope you all are ready with your opinions. And, we're going to go back and forth. We're ready.
Yeah. I got my nephew Spud King in the building. What up, boy? Also, I just want to throw in there about my weekend. My weekend was very interesting. So I went down to Barnesville, which is a part of Georgia I've never been to, and I'm from Georgia.
Okay.
Never been to Barnesville, but it was for Catrice Austin Fields Day, which is they dedicated the day to her in Barnesville, and it just happened to be a weekend after her birthday, Juneteenth weekend as well, Father's Day weekend as well. So it was kind of a lot in one for that weekend. But I was honored and received the You Matter and the City Award for being a caretaker. I'm just thinking in my head, caretaker. I don't take care of 6 people. It's like, nah, but you see 120 students a day.
Mm,
This is true. So I'd like to give a big shout out to them. There will be pictures coming to that event, y'all, because it was a very nice event. Like
that's wonderful.
the banquet and everything. I mean, they had the day event was like had the bouncy houses for the kids, had cotton candy machines, had food trucks come out, had vendors out there selling jewelry and whatnot. Had some performances. Big shouts out to the Mako girls. Mako girls came out there and tore it down like they always do. But yeah, that the night event was when we got somewhat. It was the formal event and whatnot, and yeah, I got an award. I got the You Matter in the City Caretaker Award. So
Well, congratulations, sir.
thank you, yay me. It's one of those type things though. I remember we got on here and we was talking about Teacher Appreciation Day and in my case the lack thereof.
Right.
But
Because
it's
I
like
was,
well, somebody's looking out there
yeah,
somewhere.
because teacher appreciation for us, man, I was man, listen, super, super spoiled. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I got a bottle of water, some hand sanitizer, and some trail mix.
Wow.
Yeah. I got music. Monk in the building. Monk, what up, boy? Said Monk done took a break from listening to that Killer Mike to come check us out. So we gotta be dope, extra dope now.
I mean, I've been hearing so many things about this new
Ooh.
single that he had. Plus, he did something that a whole bunch of people have not been able to do, was to get three stacks out of hiatus for a second just to do something. I
Yeah,
mean, heck, even his other half, Outcast, still has been able to do that. But yeah, so I definitely gotta check it out because
yeah,
that's one thing I will say. You have so much talent, whether they are homegrown or implants here in the South. But when you take a collective poll amongst those rappers and say, who's your favorite rapper? I think it's almost unanimous, Andre 3000. So I have to check that out just because it's him. I mean, I love Killer Mike as well, but just because it's him. So
Yeah, he went in on this one though. Like I like every song. This one song kind of got sad, get a little teary eyed. Talking about losing his mom and his
his mom,
grandma
yeah,
and his grandma. So it's just like
yeah, yeah.
I ain't finna, I ain't finna be sad for the next 3.5 minutes. That damn
Well, you know what?
it.
I saw, he did an interview and he said that it was something that he never ever talked about. He dealt with it and he just moved on from it. But of course, you talking about it doesn't make that situation go away. This is your new normal. So
Yeah.
this was a moment of healing for him as well.
Mhm.
So yeah, so I definitely want to tune in. Like I said, I love Michael. I love Killer Mike. What he does in the community, how he'll stand up and say this is what we needed. It's not too many of them who are out there using their platforms for the people, but he's one of them.
He's
He's
definitely
one
one
of
of
them.
them.
So
Definitely one of them. I got Dee Dee in the building. What's happening with your shoulder? So, oh, I ain't never heard that noise before.
uh
There's a tag. Oh, um, back to back school is clearly out. I got my boy DJ Four Stripes in the building. What up, Sarge? All right. So once again, like I said, a lot of times we come up with these topics really because Miss Parker be over there thinking a lot, and then she hit me like, "Ooh, let's try this," and I'm like, "Hey, floor is yours." But this one right here kind of had me like, interesting.
yeah.
Treading into some dangerous waters, man. But I'm here for
Well, like I said,
it.
I mean, this is a topic that we all can kind of chime in and, again, let's give a disclaimer that no one's opinion is a bad opinion. It's just your opinion. And the goal is not to necessarily get anyone to change their opinion, but just respect, the differences. So I've always found myself over the course of, I want to say the last, let me not magnify this more. I'll say probably over the course of the last 10 years. The last 10 years of my life where I have found in some capacity that there was someone, whether it was a homeboy who was strictly platonic, or if it was maybe, I'll say, I don't like to use the word friend that loosely because it's not, but I'll say maybe an associate that, my homie or whatever. And I've always had relationship topics or or been sought after for relationship advice. So sometimes when you find yourself and you're giving advice, every now and then you'll find that, and I used to call them a hater until I realized, no, they're not hating. They may have a valid point. So it's always somebody that might pop up and say, well, that don't make sense. Why would someone go to a single woman for relationship advice? And I said, well, let's play around with that. Look at some of the people that we have who are who are walking the earth right now, who from Ayala, AJ Johnson, who was a life coach, but she also has a show where she is coaching celebrity couples. Let me see, who else did you have? You had the late, a lot of people didn't care for him, and I had mixed emotions and mixed feelings about him, but some of them other clips that I saw where it wasn't just a bash sessions, the information that he gave was so powerful. And I'm speaking of now other than the late Kevin Samuels, but these were, then you have a new gentleman by the name of, I want to say, Stephen Muhammad, who has his own platform called Stephen Speaks. And I meant, and this is just to name a few, but these are people who coach people on relationships. They talk about the power of the power of connection, and they talk about the importance of doing X, Y, and Z for your partner. But there's one thing about all these people: they're single, they're unmarried, and so the question is their opinion valid? So of course I threw it towards Agony, and I said, you know what? I mean, it's are the people ready for this? Are the people ready to kind of dive into the fact that we're looking at 2023 and how so many people, however we view relationships, whether we see them as a means to come up, or we're truly looking for someone to navigate these waters with us, live this thing called life with us. But the question goes back is, can single people give valid and valid relationship advice? And my belief, I do it all the time. Absolutely.
I look at for two sides of a coin. So on one side, I would say no, because the first rule of one of the first rules of information is question the source of said information.
Okay.
Um, if in said advice was that good and that valid from said person, then why are they without? Why are they single? That would be the question that I have in my mind. Now, the other side of that coin, I would say yes on is because um, there's a reason why when you watch football, football happens inside the lines, right?
Hmm.
But you got a coach on the side and you got a man up in the box. The coach on the side can see what the players don't see, and the man in the box can see what the coach don't see. So
Agree.
somebody on the outside looking in could always see something a little more clearer than if you're in the forest but can't see past the trees.
Okay.
So it's really two sides of that coin that I see it as.
Well,
But,
I
but
guess
mhm.
I guess for me is, why is it automatically assumed that the absence of a monogamous or whatever relationship automatically means that you're less than, or maybe your opinion isn't valid? One of the easiest things in the world to do is to get a man. If you're a woman, get a man. If you're a man, get a woman. That's easy. You can just, especially if you're going to be real, without setting a standard, without saying that I'm looking for someone who is educated, this, and that. If all you want is just companionship and a warm body, that is easy. You can hit Fulton Industrial, pay a couple bucks from my understanding, and there you go. So
Well,
it's
see,
the
it goes past a warm body at that point. At that point,
but
you're going to be burning.
but the thing is, that's not, but it's not hard. It's not hard to very well find yourself. Why do you think? Come on now, we all know a booger bear too, that find themselves, they go from relationship to relationship to relationship. But when you look at the quality of what they're picking, it's easy. I mean, you can go to the gross as a woman. I can be in Publix and go to the frozen section and look at the hungry man. Then it's right next to my right and to the left. I'm gonna find a couple hungry men.
The
So
hungry man, right?
it's easy. It is easy to find yourself with a man if you're a woman, or and again, I'm just speaking. I'm not for those people who might enjoy other connections. That is totally okay. I'm speaking just from my perspective. So you'll hear me say man because I'm a heterosexual woman. So just putting that out there. However, that's easy. But when you decide that, okay, the very thing that I desire in a person, I have done some work on me. And this is what I'm looking for. So now when you have not found it, it don't mean that the people out here are bad, or it don't mean that the people out here are trash. You just haven't found someone that you're willing to navigate these waters with. It doesn't mean that you're not desirable. And it doesn't mean that you have failed as a person because you're not in a relationship. I know several people who are very much in relationships because financially they cannot get out, because they have allowed themselves to be taken care of, and they're miserable because they have not put this together yet, and they're not in position to escape. So is that a person whose advice that I want to take, although they lay next to a person every single day? So you have to really look at it.
I
And the
mean,
reason
somebody who gets themselves trapped. Hell no, I don't want to take their advice.
why, but if we're going to go just based off of kind of just what you shared, then they are with someone. See, we don't see, for whatever reason, we have to stop believing that singleness is a curse. To be what we want is wholeness, period. Whether, because whatever you are going to transfer into a relationship. One of the main reasons why, now, not every single person, because if you have a person where every time you're out and about, they're always saying, "Oh, why can't I get a man?" No, you can't give me much advice because you haven't found pleasure within yourself. You haven't found the thing about you that makes you glow. And that's the goal. The goal is not necessarily companionship, the goal is wholeness. Because whatever it is that you are going to transfer that into a relationship. Now, here's my full opinion. I don't
Wait a minute,
believe
that
in,
wasn't it.
but but in terms of when you're giving relationship advice, one thing I do not believe that anyone has a right, unless it is something where you know for a fact the people who you're advising, they're in a situation where it can be detrimental to their health, like they're in danger, they're being physically abused. But anything aside from that, I don't believe people have a right to tell you how you live your life and how you navigate your relationship. No one has an ideal situation for the next. I don't care how much we might say relationship goes this, relationship goes that. You don't know what they had to go through to get to that place. So no one's situation is 100% ideal for the next person if we're going to be truthful about it. But what we are looking for in a single person, because all you're doing, you're speaking to the individual. You can say, before you move forward in this relationship in this way, you got some healing to do. As a woman who come in contact with other women, I'll say, sis, you talk too much. You're so quick to want to respond that you don't listen to comprehend. Now, I'm not telling you, oh, when your man come home, make sure he has this, and that. I'm not going to tell you how you should navigate within your relationship, but I'm speaking to the individual. Sis, when you don't know how to close your mouth, you it's honestly for you, your limit. You are now putting yourself in a box where your resources and your knowledge is limited. So you need to understand that to it's timing to everything. If your man works 14, 15 hours a day, he comes home, he don't want to hear, oh, let me tell you what happened his first 30, 45 minutes when he walks in the door. Now, that don't have anything to do with, oh, well, oh, well, you're a single person. No, that has everything to do with, I know what it takes for me to decompress from my day. So it's just speaking to the person, because the overall goal is you want wholeness. Because if you're literally a broken vessel and you're a broken person, you're going to transfer that brokenness into a relationship. And you may find yourself dealing with things that you shouldn't deal with, or you may find yourself projecting, you may find yourself causing things to happen in that relationship because you have not healed. You have not taken the time. So, no, I'm not telling you how to navigate your relationship, and no one should, because that's your situation. But what I'm saying is a single person can speak to the brokenness, because maybe, especially if you, now not every single person, it has to be someone who has done the work, who who understands, look, at one point I came across this way. At one point, I was very insecure. At one point, I was that person who went through phones. So it's one of those things where you take a person right where they are and say, okay, how do we get you out of this? Because whether you are single or you are married, this trait here is not acceptable. We need to get you to come from this level of brokenness to wholeness. That's what we need you to come to. Now, understand, everyone is not equipped to date a doctor. Everyone's not going to be equipped to date a man or a woman who has a very prestigious platform, and that's okay. But no matter who you choose to navigate this thing called life with, there should be a level of wholeness from both people, which is why when you listen to the advice that Stephen gives, the advice that Ayala many times gives, the advice that, Kevin Samuels, who will say, I did the work. I am what I am, a what he called, not a high powered man, but he
Oh,
knew that. But right,
uh,
right, right.
a high quality man.
Right. He was a high quality man. So his thing is, I'm a high quality man. I've done the work. So I'm sorry, Boom Quisha, who's sitting over here sending booty pictures. What's next? So he not saying that his overall goal wasn't to, eventually smash, but you
Eventually
can
get booty.
but at the same time, with a high quality individual, what else you got?
You got to bring more.
You have to bring more. Now there
But
might
here's what's funny. I hear people like Steve Harvey saying, speaking against the whole "what do you bring to the table" argument. Like it's ironic about this. Steve Harvey, out of all the people that we named, is married.
uh-huh.
And I remember at one point Steve Harvey was the relationship guru. I think what's funny about this though is like, particularly amongst our people, it comes and goes in trends. Like
It does.
who's the guru this week? You know what I'm saying? So at one time Steve was the guru. He had the crown. He sat at the top of the mountain or whatever.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
and I was just literally, I don't know how, remember how old this episode of Club Shay Shay was. Steve Harvey was on there and he was like, the man should already have the table set. The table should already be built, and the woman just come in and have a seat. And this is like, he just let anybody come sit at the table. Because I
But
mean, once you set it out like that, that sounds like an open invite.
but no disrespect to Steve, because I value Steve's opinion. Look at what he's married to. Steve also, now look at who he's married to. And I think I will be the first one to say, I think she's a beautiful woman, but she is a professional gold digger. So when you set yourself up, now I will say that there is a level of peace that you do see that kind of exudes from Steve being married to Marjorie. I do believe that, even from his physical, I know that, he's lost a little weight. Now Steve Harvey has always kind of been well put together, but you can see a difference between loud suit color Steve Harvey when he was married to that third wife to now.
Mhm.
He's a bit more refined being married to Marjorie. So I'm not saying that she don't bring something to the table. So I'm not saying that he doesn't, she doesn't bring something to the table, but he very much comes from a generation of, nah, man, you sitting up here dependent. So what he's doing is he's speaking to the men who have decided we're gonna play this game too. We not gonna come. The way we gonna come up, we gonna get us one of those women who just want anybody. They just want a man in their house. And here's the thing, you can sense them out. I mean, They have an aura. Like, I don't know if it stinks. I don't know if it stinks, but it is something that just radiates off of their temples that just says desperation. So those men can sense, oh, you got a car and you got teeth. I'm about to move in your crib. So
But see,
this is what Steve
but
is
that dude is
speaking to.
homeless.
Huh?
That dude is homeless. Hold on, let me get to this comment right quick. Steve Harvey comes from the mindset of women having higher value than the man, so it's skewed.
Well,
I
well,
can see
he
that.
Well, he again, he also comes from a generation where men were taught you take care of your woman, you take care of your woman, you take care of your children. This is what you're supposed to do. Now you have a lot of women who are saying, "Hey, I work too. I went to school as well. We don't have to, everything doesn't have to be on you." Because what we were finding was you had a lot of men who had that mindset of, I'm supposed to take care of my wife. I am supposed to take care of my children. These were women sometimes who did not drive, they didn't work outside the home, but these were also some of these men that retired at 65 and died at 67 too. So now you had a lot of women who says, well, hold on. I kind of like my husband. I kind of want him to live past, can we at least get 20 years past retirement? I want to be able
Right.
to enjoy my relationship. So no, I can work too. Baby, you don't have to work the 16, 18, 20 hours a day. Let's kind of do this together. So that was initially where the partnership came from. Now we have come into a generation where come into a time where this is just so unrecognizable, because now the very first thing that you hear when some of these men go on dates with women, the first thing you hear is it could be a matter of minutes and all of a sudden that woman is saying, oh man, I just got a text from Georgia Power. I'm like $60 later, $60 short of my light bill. That comes almost
Mhm.
within the first meeting now.
And then the thing is though, I mean, what's the difference between her and the dudes that that were appropriately nicknamed by the internet the hobosexuals? We're just like, oh, you finally move in your house.
But here's the thing. To me, now I heard some more say this, and I'm not a big and I hate to say this, but I'm not a big fan of a lot of stand-up comedians who are women. But I happened to catch one particular line that Samora said. Samora said, I just believe there are certain people on this earth that deserve each other. She says, I believe people who don't pay their car note should date the repo man. I, be- I, I believe people who don't believe in paying their bills should date creditors. So, and her things, because why in the hell do we have to deal with this foolishness? Because some of you all choose to do that. So I'm a firm believer that homosexuals should actually, yeah, and typically they do. Homosexuals typically do pair up with the women who just have, I'm not saying they don't have any standard, but the idea of dating someone their caliber scares them, because why? It shines a magnifier
I about to say,
on what
I,
they
I,
lack.
or it shows it's more so a mirror.
Yeah,
It's
I
putting it
mean,
right back in your face now.
true story. True story. I can't tell you how many times I have seen this. So, of course, let me just give a disclaimer. If anybody looks at this and says, who is she talking about? I am not talking about anybody in particular, but because I have seen this over the course of
Right. Yeah, right here on
all
the
my
dope
life.
show, names are changed to protect the guilty.
Exactly.
Oh,
So,
big shouts out to Saga Boss in the building. That's a dope logo. Appreciate
well,
it, Skip. And we got Tina in the building. Tina came back because
now you know we can't have a show without Tina. Tina's gonna be here.
these are facts.
Yeah,
If we
Tina's
back,
gonna be
Tina
here.
back. There goes
But
she in the building. No, big shouts out to you, Tina Cheetah. Big shouts out to Saga Boss, also in the building right now.
but now, like I said, I mean, my daddy and I used to have a concept of people sometimes would either date cops or robbers. Now, what that concept
Hmm.
is, You have a person, let's just, and I'm just using cops for example. So let's just
Mhm.
say you have someone who's professional. Now, here you are as a woman. Now, again, this is where we're speaking to wholeness. We're not speaking as hey, hey, Saga. We're not speaking to how you're navigating your relationship. We're speaking to the brokenness that we see. And this is why it's so important to tap into that. So our concept of cops and robbers is this. You have a person, so if you have a woman who is, let's say she's educated, has her own money, she, has her own everything. Keep in mind, yes, these are accomplishments, but let's be real, these are also things called being an adult. So let's not give a whole bunch of brownie points for just for things that we're kind of supposed to do at a certain at a certain place in life. Now,
Right, right.
but okay, so let's say you find that woman. If she is not whole, meaning if she has any kind of insecurity, if she feels like I'm not good enough, to me, if you feel at any point that you're not good enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not worthy enough, you're not enough, you really have no business being in a relationship, because you really have to do some work to get yourself to a place where you realize you are enough. And that sometimes takes months, it takes years, it
Takes
takes weeks,
years
takes years,
sometimes.
or it might just be baby steps for the rest of your life. Let's just be real. But you find a person who has a man who finds a man, and that man has exactly what she has, maybe a little bit more. Now, a woman who has done the work on herself, who feels good about where she is. Now, we're not going for perfection. We're going for wholeness. I know that I come to the table whole. I don't have baggage that I have not unpacked. I don't have any issues from my past in the previous relationship, marriage, etc., that I'm bringing to you. I'm not making you responsible for what I allowed him to do. So let's say it goes back to self-reflect. So anyway,
That's a
you
rare
have
breed.
right. So you have a person who has done the work, and she meets a man who mirrors her. The very thing, because again, the very thing that you want, you should become. So she meets that person. Well, heck, she feels like she's met, her soulmate, her companion. Let's do this. But an insecure woman will feel at any moment someone can take him from me. I don't feel worthy of him. They have sleepless nights. They don't believe, or they believe, I'm really not good enough for him. And instead of putting that out in the atmosphere to say, this is what I'm feeling. When I'm with him, I don't feel that I'm good enough. I feel that he has other options. Although I look good on paper, I don't feel the value that my paper presents. I don't feel that because I
Well,
haven't done the work to,
well, here's the thing. Paper can only get you so far.
right.
Like,
But
whether yes, you may be educated to the, I don't know, second degree after high school, and have a good job, good car, good crib, but those are just, man.
but
Can you
but
cook?
but here's the thing. You'll find, so I've seen it so many times. I've seen so many women who have not done the work because all they have to do in their mind is, I got to be with somebody. I got to be with somebody. I have seen women walk away from high value men because they did not do the work, and they got them a hobosexual. Because why? In that mind, he
That
needs me.
that was something they could manage.
Yeah, yeah,
That
exactly.
was all they were equipped to manage. Like, you could be a manager of a Fortune 500 company, or you could be the manager down at Popeyes.
Exactly. And here's the thing.
You was
There
at
is
Popeyes.
Yeah, but here's the thing. There is absolutely, and the problem is, I think sometimes when people in relationships give advice, they give advice sometimes based off of their relationship. No, we have to understand,
That's
like
how.
you,
But
but
that's how. That's more so human nature, isn't it? Isn't a lot of how we relate verse is dependent upon how we relate with ourselves.
well, you know what, yes and no. Like for example, you said someone who manages a Fortune 500 company. That's fantastic. But someone who manages a Popeyes too can make good money as well. I think we have to get people. We got to get people to a place where they are whole in what they can manage. But I have seen it. I have seen women truly pick up the homosexual, and it's like, wait a minute, hold on. He didn't even have suitcase. He didn't have a suitcase.
Oh, they
No,
came in a
girl.
garbage bag, yo.
He moved in with garbage bags. It's
Yeah.
like, so that wasn't a red flag, but now that is someone that is someone they are willing to go through the dirt with, because why? This person makes them feel good about who they are because they have not done the work, that they're actually inadequate.
Yeah. My boy Four Stripes said the homosexual can be controlled.
To now,
That
here's the
not
thing.
not only can he be controlled, she know he ain't going nowhere. He need her. Cause
But
his next step from her, his grandma done already put him out the basement. So he can't go
but
back there. He
but
gotta stay
here's
here.
the but here's where this can backfire. When you have a woman who looks like she has it together and she is dating a homosexual, what happens is when you have creeping Catherine, or you got sleazy Susie, and they see this dust bucket with this woman who seems to be a bit accomplished. Now this woman's mind begins to wonder, well, what does he bring to the table? I mean, he must have money. He must be, gifted in that area. He must be bringing something to the table, and so in order to get her. So the very thing that insecure woman thought that she was saving herself from was
She set
possibly
herself
dealing
up
with
for
other women. She didn't set herself up for
she
it.
just set herself up for it.
She
There it
set
is.
herself up for it. I
But
mean,
you
really. I
and
mean,
you know what? He gonna think he got all the time in the world. It ain't like he got no job. He
exactly.
could he could play he could put pause on Madden right quick to go out there and smash the neighbors.
Why? Why? Because the only thing, because all she requires him to do is be there.
Be her
Because
man. Right.
yeah, that's all I require you to do. I have transferred my happiness to you. So if you're not here, I'm not happy, because I refuse to do the work on me. Because if I do the work on me, I might discover that I suck. I might discover that I have a bad attitude. I might discover that I'm selfish and that I'm one sided and the world revolves around me. So I don't want to do the work. So if your homeless ass, go ahead and just move on in here and just be my boo. I'll still pay everything, and I'll give you maybe a few months, because eventually I want you to at least, pay some of the bills eventually. I mean, I ain't gonna bank on it, but when you do, I'm gonna praise you for it. It's like it's like, hold on, the thing that you're trying to avoid, you're setting yourself up for. I mean, come on now. I mean, think about it. Let's think about okay, why do we believe that we didn't hear a whole bunch of scandals? We didn't hear any scandals when President Obama was in office and Michelle Obama as the first lady. Do we believe that they have navigated this thing called marriage without temptation? Absolutely not. Do we believe that there was ever a time that he didn't have a moment or she didn't have a moment? That's not possible.
Right. She
You,
said
you know
she said it in her book that there was a 10-year period where they were together, they rocked with each other, but they were, from lack of better term, they were estranged.
exactly.
Hmm.
So they went through their thing. But when you see the two of them together, let's be real. What man is big and bad enough to challenge Barack for Michelle? What woman is big and bad enough to challenge Michelle for Barack? See, because they're
I
both
don't, I'm thinking LeBron James, but he's already in a happy situation.
right. But the thing is, there's but here, but they're so solid in their relationship because they're both whole. They're
Mm.
solid in their relationship. Michelle brings a whole lot to the table. Barack brings a whole lot to the table.
Them people
You,
is a whole dining room. They pass
I,
table status.
I mean, I mean, but let's be real. So I'm not saying that the temptations don't aren't out there, but the likelihood of someone trying to infiltrate something. I mean, okay, do you hear about it? Do you really hear about a lot of people trying to break into the police station? No, that thing kind of secure. Do you hear about people trying to break into Fort McCoy, Fort McPherson, anything like that? No, because you might get your head blown up. So see, there are certain things that the likelihood that they're going to be infiltrated is almost slim to none. Why? Because it's solid.
I
And
think I
it's
think it is
solid
at
because
this
each
point.
entity is whole.
I think they are at this point because I mean they've been through the trenches together already.
They've been through it. But the beauty about them going through it, but he had to do the work for him. She had to do the work for her. These two are probably the most educated couple that has stepped foot in that White House. The most educated. They both are, Michelle was his supervisor. They're both attorneys by trade. These are
Mhm.
probably they're probably the most educated couple that has ever lived. She wasn't just a housewife. But when he took on the role as senator and did a fantastic job in Illinois, when he took on the role as senator and then he threw his name in a hat for president, and then
Mhm.
you saw they raised their family in that White House. They allowed those girls to be girls. They allowed those girls to be human. But you didn't hear about a whole bunch of scandals because you didn't see a level of weakness in either one of them.
That's
Now,
true.
now,
And I think the thing I like about that as well as particularly not necessarily I'm gonna segue to another couple that I'm not a big fan of this guy as a athlete, but as off court, he's probably one of my favorite humans. That's LeBron James.
okay, same here,
Off
same here.
off court, he's one of my favorite humans. But one of the things about him and Savannah that I notice is that when I see her and not him, he's still there. She's not all out in these streets with her and his business hanging out. Let's go back to the award show. The whole Sierra Russell Wilson thing. He's standing up there in his sunken place, right?
Yeah,
Savannah was there that night. LeBron was in the playoffs, I think. LeBron was in another city playing ball. Savannah's there that night. She has a nice dress on. It's fitted. It's giving, but not giving away everything. You see what I'm
she
saying?
she looks like a wife. Yeah,
And it was one of those type things like that right there kind of really set out to me like LeBron's on another part of the country at work doing his job badly, but he's doing it, whatever. Um, and his wife is out here representing him, and this how she looked.
yeah, yeah.
Right, but Russell standing next to his wife as she's representing him,
Uh
and
huh.
this how she looked.
Yeah. But again, so what? That goes.
Hey, Akron in the building.
But that goes back to why do you think? Why do you think that hold on, I only need this much of my wife or this world, but I can't live without the Lord. Amen.
Hey,
I mean,
we
amen.
got we got wrestling aficionado right here, Darren Cotton in the building. Dude almost my age and he can still body slam me on my neck. That's why I just like see him in public. I shake hands and run the other way. True
Got you.
story, y'all.
Got you. But
Big
but
shouts
yeah,
out to Cotton.
yeah, but that why do you think it was so easy? And I'm so glad a lot of stuff has died down now. But why do you think it was so easy for uh Future to continue to take shots, to take jabs, to just put things out there, whether it was true or not,
Sensational.
because it looked like there wasn't a level of wholeness there. This can be infiltrated, or it gives the perception that it can be infiltrated. So
But
going,
I don't
so
I don't think it can be infiltrated. I just don't think the foundation is not shaky. But at
Right.
the same time, she knows she has the probably one of the best security nets out here.
Absolute. But again, but then that goes back to again. So when you're listening to single people who are giving life advice, they're not always saying, "Oh, well, you gotta make sure your man eat because if you." I hate this advice. I hate this. I hate this, and I'm so grateful to God that I was never taught this.
What's
If
that?
you better feed your man or another woman will. Why can't I just feed my man?
That's real though.
But
Because
but
but here's the thing,
but the
that's
reason why,
not for you. That's for those ones who don't, who feel
but
like
the,
they shouldn't have to. Why? He grown, the refrigerator in there. All
but the
right.
but the
Get what?
reason
Shouter got
but
a refrigerator and it's open and it's full.
but the reason why I don't necessarily like that advice is now you're putting somebody in a place where they are now possibly not being authentic. If it is not authentically you to want to serve, if it is not authentically you to want to make sure that, okay, my man gets off work at 9 o'clock, I should not be in my house, and the same doggone thing that, so if I'm off and he didn't work 15, 16 hour days, he should not come home and I got on the bonnet or the same doggone thing that I had on when he left. There should be something. There should be something warm in here for him to eat. I'm not sitting up here trying to give him 1,001 problems as soon as he walks in the door. Now, if that is not you, that's fine. But when you tell the person, "Oh, you better do it before she do it," now you might be getting a person who's not authentic. What we are looking for in today's relationships are wholeness. We're looking for two whole people to come together that might say, "Hey, your platform, you might make a lot of money in your platform. I'm an educator. A lot of things that I get now, I can feed myself, I can live, I can buy, I'm about to buy a home.
Hey, hey,
Educated money gonna pay that mortgage. So,
hey,
I can
look, that
my
educated money said we can eat, but we gotta
but
wait every other month to get cheese on it.
But my whole thing is this: I can take care of myself. Your platform might provide a little bit more money. However, I am one of those people where if I'm whole where I am, you're whole where you are, the financial part we'll talk about. If you are whole spiritually, I'm whole spiritually, then here's the thing: I'm not requiring you to do anything to make me happy. I've already found happiness. I need you. And that's the thing. So then we also have a lot of women who misconstrue this whole point. I don't need a man. Don't be a fool. Yes, we need each other. Men need women need men. Because why? There is a level, there's an exchange of strengths that happen. Even if it's a cousin in your life, even if it's a big brother, there is a level of the strength of logic, which is something that is dominantly possessed by men. That's one of the greatest things you all bring to the table. Many times you can very well see, don't go there, that's a snake. Where a woman, our strength, our dominant strength is emotion. So therefore, we can multitask. We can very well say, you know what? I know your logic is telling you that person crossed you, but let me use a little emotion. That person really didn't cross you. That person couldn't face you because that person has so much respect for you. Yeah, you mad that person owes you $300, but that person has paid you back numerous times. Don't go whoop his tail this time. He's hit a rough patch and he just can't come to you. So we need each other.
Mm.
But in terms of, do I need you to come up? No. Do I need you to do I need you to pay my car note? No. Do I need you? These are things. See, this is what we're mistaking materialistic things for what we need from each other as that connection. Because if I plug into you and you plug into me, we are powerful together. Now we're powerful separate, but can you imagine the lives that we change? Can you
As as
imagine
as long as we are plugging in with the same amount of wattage, because
exactly?
Because you try
But
to stick a 9 volt in a 120-watt socket, you're gonna blow your house up and yourself.
that's where it goes back to talking about whatever, Jason.
I got
But
Jason Brown in the building. That is 710 print shop right there. Every time you see me on this show with a dope shirt, it is because of this gentleman right here. Any shirt needs you have, 710 print shop. Holla at my boy Jason. Tell him dope at DJ Agony sent you.
I will be hollering at you sometime soon, Jason. Definitely. But yeah,
Say
but
your
you
shit tonight.
but
No, he's not. No, he's not.
right, but yeah, but that goes back to let's look at it again. Single people who are sometimes giving the advice. It's because now again, not the single person. Oh, woe is me. I don't have self-esteem. Why can't I get a man? No, you suck. You gonna find somebody who's going to do a number on you because you are looking
You
for.
looking like a mark.
Exactly. You're putting a bullseye on your
Hmm.
chest.
And I'm
But
telling you, it's some brothers out here that are sharks, and
what?
they looking for blood in the water.
Man, let's
They
or
and they might not even be homosexuals. They just looking for a mark.
but here's the thing. But you also got some women. Okay. Have you ever heard a woman tell you this? And if not, women don't get mad because I'm getting ready to tell a little secret. Now,
Uh-oh.
I am grateful that Myrtle C. Parker, my mother, now you all know I will speak highly of Henry C. Parker and Myrtle C. Them my people, my mama, my daddy, God rest his soul. I speak highly of them. And I'm so grateful that I never got this advice from her because it's kind of stupid, but it is rooted in insecurity. I'm gonna give you all a little secret. There's advice that sometimes older women, have given women, and it says, you better find you a man that loves you more than you love him. Now, let's break.
Pause on that one for a second. Matter of fact, I wish I had my turntables. I hit the rewind on it. We run that one back again. Say that
Okay,
one
I'm
more
gonna say it
time.
again. I'm
Uh
gonna
huh.
say it again
Hmm.
because this advice is rooted in insecurity, and I'm gonna break it down for you. You'll find over some older women, not all, because I was blessed to have wholeness. So I came from wholeness, okay? And again, I'm not better than anyone else. I just know the pitfalls that I escaped because my parents did the work. Even when they were married at 17, 19, they grew up together, but they did the work individually together, just to be solid people, whether they were with each other or not. But anyway, the advice that is often given to some women is, you better find a man that loves you more than you love him. And let me tell you why that's a problem. Number one, how can you really gauge true love? I mean, who has a barometer? Where's a measuring tape? How are you measuring how this man loves you or how you love him? But this is what this means. This means it goes back to the woman of what she can manage because of low self-esteem. Now, what happens is you find you a man. He might be a good guy. Here's the thing: he might be a good guy, but you're playing on a man who's a bit insecure. He might not feel he's as attractive as maybe other men in your past, or maybe as attractive as a woman of your caliber should possibly date. Insecurity in a woman smells like a ribeye on the grill. Yeah, them things stink. Yeah. And no disrespect to people who love beef and all that stuff. Beef cooked stinks. Yeah, I agree, Christian. It stinks. But
I,
anyway, so what
I
happened?
fucking love
So
beef. Well, I miss it because I ain't had beef in about 15 years, but I used to love that
but
shit.
so what happens is you find a man. He might be a good guy, but he
Oh my.
and the amount
A sucker itch that he does equals love.
but exactly. So basically that's what they're looking for. You're looking for a man that when people look at him and then they look at you, they wonder like, how did he pull her? Because he might not be as educated. He's a good guy, hardworking, but he might not be as attractive. he might not be as educated. You can't really take him too many places without really saying, okay, sit down, because I'm gonna have to dress you. Because yeah, I mean, I can't take you around this crowd of folk because heck, all you own is a bottle of Sulfur 8 and a white t-shirt. So I gotta go ahead and get you together.
I got, I got,
So
I got questions with that though. Like,
so
what level of man did you decide to bring home?
but here's the thing. It don't mean that he's a bad guy. He is just who he is. He's just common guy. Okay, he's one of those guys. He goes to work. He takes care of himself, but he doesn't do anything extra. Like he don't hit the gym. He is, but it's just who he is. So you'll find a man that you believe you. Jason, I thought you said you were gonna behave. We already knew you weren't, and we definitely here for it, Jason. Jason Brown, we are here for it. So don't you go anywhere. We're here for it. But
Oh
see,
man,
but let's tell the truth. You told the untruth. You said you were gonna chill. We know you're not, but we're here for it.
I mean, I'm always here for it. Hey, yo, for more of this 710 to Slicksville Monday night at 9. All your streaming platform and services, man. Check him out. Like I said, this is his show right here. Like this is it's the
Yeah,
nuts, the lunacy, the insanity.
yeah. But again, that advice is rooted in insecurity, because here now you feel you have a man you can manipulate.
Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
kind of
shoot,
it's kind of like having the carrot on the fishing line. You know what I'm saying? You let them get like this closer, then you reel it back in and take two steps backwards. You know what I'm
true,
saying?
true story. I won't use any names, but I grew up. Everybody know I'm from Chicago. Miss Parker don't go out with a man who doesn't own a suit. Well, you know what? I won't say that. I won't say that. My preference is I need you to at least own a suit. However, I'm not above taking you shopping, because that's honest. That's honestly one of my guilty pleasures. I have a thing for dress, because I used to have, because when I became an adult, my mama would get the house together and say, Stephanie, now you go dress your daddy. And it was fun. So I have a
You said
thing.
grown dress up.
Man, listen, I have a thing. How some people want to play dress up with their dolls. No, give me a guy. It's nothing like, I have fun. I had a colleague. I don't know where he is, but I'm sure he's doing big things. I met him when we were both working in Chicago in CPS for the Chicago Public School System. Nice guy. He had first year teacher, and good looking guy. Had just met this young lady. He was trying to impress, and he came to me and he said, "Hey, you seem to kind of keep yourself up and this and that." And I said, "Well, yeah." I said, I take pride in my appearance, take pride in whatever. He was like, "I need a little help. I need a little help." I said, "What you need?" He said, "I just need to kind of know how to, piece some things together." I said, "What's your budget?" And he had a little money. He was like, "Oh, I could probably spend about 2,000." I said, "I don't even need all that. Let's roll."
Nigga, we got
Man,
change left over.
man, I had so much fun. He was like my dress up doll. But to get him to, just really just making him, making his jeans pop with the right shirt and yes. So yeah, but anyway, like I said, that level of advice is rooted in insecurity, because you're looking for someone that you can control, and you believe, like, so now these are people that you may or may not ever fully commit to. You just know you got to
That
do.
you never would commit to that because the whole time you're drawing the carrot on them and taking a step back in return.
True
You
story.
you,
True. Oh yeah, I
you know
got
what
I
I'm
got it.
saying?
I,
So with Jason Brown, the name of the podcast has changed. It's now Strategically Reckless. God damn, how fitting.
okay,
How
okay,
fitting.
okay,
Strategically Reckless podcast.
okay. I'm gonna
And,
have to
and
tune
that's
in.
that's Monday nights at 9. So you definitely check that brother out.
I'm gonna have to tune
Uh
in.
no problem with the plug, man. You know, this is what we do, brother. This is what we do.
Yeah, but hey, so I don't forget. I got it. So don't forget, I gotta no. I promise you, I didn't go to Ross. I didn't go to Ross. I did hit D and K, but we went over to like the men's warehouse because a lot of their pants on him. Because again, I knew for 2000 he wasn't ready for no real tailor. For 2000, that would have been one suit if we're gonna be real. But let's go ahead and start off with some nice slacks that we gotta actually, put the darts in, get the, go ahead and get that cuff perfectly. Let's get the belt and shoe combination. Let's do it all. Let's do it all. So no, and to be funny, I don't even think Ross existed when I took on this guinea pig. I don't even think Ross was out there. I'm probably dating myself, but D&K was. We hit them and we hit the men's warehouse, and it was just fun. Keep in mind,
but D&K have you looking like you on the way to the Players Ball though.
I mean, listen.
It's like Easter is every Sunday at D&K.
Well, that's but oddly enough, when he walked in, I'll never forget when he walked in, he picked up a pair of like brown and white pinstripe slacks. I says, put them down for the love of God. I said, you are not a Detroit pimp.
Chicago pimp.
I said, we gonna stay, my brother, we gonna stay with gray. We gonna know that between gray and charcoal is a little different. We're gonna do black, we're gonna do gray, so I kept him safe. So how when Steve Harvey has a thing, well, if you got a man, every man should own 5 suits, and then you buy these shirts and his thing. So with his calculation, these 5 suits and these 4 shirts can give you 75 looks.
That's different combinations.
Yes, that's what I was kind of playing around with. So it's fun. But anyway, true. So I gotta tell this story. Had knew a young lady, grew up same block. She used to always. Now, I for the life of me never ever understood why she felt it was important to talk about maybe how unattractive the father of her child was, because she wasn't that hot herself. He was a fantastic guy. He was funny. He was a fantastic father. But anytime you would have conversations with her, she always used to talk about, girl, he gave me money, but y'all know he ugly looking. She was always somewhere bashing him. But the reality of it is, we would, I remember one time, a few of us from the neighborhood, we all hung out. We went out. He was there. He could not dance, but she didn't want to say his name, but it was Steve. Close. That wasn't his name though, but I'll say it was close. But anyway,
if anything is close to Theopolis, we got a problem.
Theopolis. But listen. So anyway, we all went out. And he was that guy that made sure that, appetizers stayed on the table. If anybody wanted a beverage, hey, cup stayed full. He was a solid person. Physically, he wasn't the best to look at. But to be honest, he was so dope as a person, who cared? But because she always felt like, oh, well, I'm this and I'm that. And she did not possess the personality he did. So this is what she did. She kept talking about what he gives and, oh, he's gifted this way. He's gifted that way. So now he wasn't a fool. He used to hear about some of the things that she used to say about him, but let's be real, his self-esteem at that time wasn't exactly the best, and he loved his daughter, so he definitely wanted to try to make things work for his daughter. I mean, they had a young baby at the time. Fast forward, there was another young lady on the same block. I happen to love her. Matter of fact, she is one of my favorite people on the earth, sister. Well, this young lady kind of got tired of hearing her bash this guy, and you could just see them after a while. They began to chit chat a little bit. So let's just say that they were the real. If anybody watches King of the Hill, they were the real life.
Peggy, not Redcorn.
Peggy and John Redcorn. They were the. They were the real life Peggy. No, not
And
Peggy.
that was
Um, um,
God, what was Dale's wife
what
name?
is Dale's wife? Yeah. Uh,
Anybody in the chat, tell me Dale Gribble's wife's name on
but
King of the
they
Hill.
but they were really her and John Redcorn. It had got to the
Eating
point.
wide open in the dog in the daytime.
No, let me tell you how strategic it had gotten. Let me tell you how it exactly, Tina. But let me tell you how strategic this was. Now this was before cell phones became popular.
Mm-hmm.
Because where we live now, I live, let's say, on this part, maybe on the far left end of the block. Uh, the person who's dear to me and her sister, they stayed on maybe the far right end, and the big mouth person stayed in the middle across the street. So he had a car phone. So what he would do, he would call her from his car phone, which would make her go in the house and answer the phone and talk to him. And while he was on the phone with her, he was picking up the other one. This went on for about a year. And here
Mm.
we were, I mean, person like me, I'm kind of all for it. Why? I'm all for it. Why? Because you sitting up here, this was the whole, oh, you get somebody uh that likes you more than you like them. No. The thing was, once that man found his voice, once he found that I don't have to put up with this, that no, I might not be an Idris Elba, heck, not too many people are, but I don't have to look this way. I am a good person, which he is. I am a fantastic father. I'm a fantastic provider. Nancy, I just got promoted at that time on my job. He was a solid person, a solid guy. So once he found his voice, then that relationship ended, and she was out here looking stupid. But that goes back to that whole, you get you somebody that likes you more than you like them, because you feel like in so many ways, oh, look at him, he ugly, he ain't leaving me, I'm the
You know,
best thing.
you know
No,
what?
that man found his voice.
Where that gets dangerous is that while you're hanging that carrot in front of his face, he loses the taste for carrots and starts seeking out other vegetables. That
because
ha- that can't happen. That
because
does happen.
he
And to be honest with you, if he is a dude, if he's a homosexual, he's gonna stay on that carrot till he dies. But
and but
if he is a dude that's say he's really about his business, in that set, eventually what's gonna happen? I mean, it could happen at work. You know what I'm saying? You had that employee, I mean that coworker that walked past you, that skirt just a little shorter than normal that one day, and then she'd be like, "Oh well, let's just go out and have drinks."
yeah.
And thing is, what a be the problem is with a guy like that, you see him as a chump. You treat him like a punk or whatever, but somebody will see the high value in that man.
And
Even
all
the value that he doesn't see in himself, somebody else will see it.
and the thing is, that little rendezvous that he had for about a year gave him enough to say, I ain't gotta put up with this foolishness. I am enough. I don't care that physically I might not be X, Y, and Z, but he brought so many things he was the table. And I'm not just saying it just because I didn't care for her after a while. I'm saying it because this was factual. He was a good guy. But because she lived by that mantra, oh, get you somebody, because look at him. Look at him. He gonna always chase me. I mean, look at me, look at him. But when you would look at her, you'd be like, you really not that cute. And she really wasn't. She
But but
and
and
I
one
and
and one of
yeah,
the things she got to get in her mind is that age works better on his side.
all the time. Men will become
Age favors him than her.
listen. I mean, we have seen it. Let's talk about okay. Let's look at like Sean Connery. Sean Connery wasn't bad looking when he was James Bond 007, but old Sean Connery with the salt
Huh.
and pepper,
The hunt for Red October.
Sean Connery was 185 years old and could have got it. So no, you absolutely, men have the ability to become distinguished Why do you think so many women like me? If you ain't got salt and pepper in that beard, I don't even really want to holler at you. Cause
I got like four right there in the middle.
man, you ain't got enough. But all I'm saying, but because you especially our melanated brothers, men just age like fine wine. They just look and sometimes it don't take much effort. It don't take much effort to just age that. Now I will say, yeah, black don't crack for all of us, but no, man, you're right. With age and the right person in your life, listen,
Man,
because I mean, I got a picture. I have one of my big cousins. We lost him during COVID, maybe a few years ago, and there's a teenage picture of him. When I tell you, Urkel, Urkel galore. But then when you see the image that was on his obituary, you like that boy was almost fine. I mean, but age,
mm-hmm.
and just finding what works for you, finding your routine, finding your regimen. That helps us all. But like I said, no, I mean I've seen so many women who live by that, but that's because it's too hard for them to face the ugly truth. You kind of ugly on the inside and outside,
Man,
and you got some work to do. So
look here.
instead of you getting or building you and becoming whole. Now, no one, again, everyone can't date the president. Everyone can't date the doctor. Everyone can't date the lawyer. And you don't have to. You don't have to, because heck, I know.
Especially if the president married and his wife look like she got them hands.
Exactly.
That
That
don't
part.
look safe.
Not at all. Not at all. But the thing is, everyone's not going to be comfortable dating someone who is upper echelon. But what I'm saying is, you need to be whole to attract and to navigate with someone else that is in your league, that's in your lane. No one is saying that, oh, girl, he a plumber. How you leave a doctor? It had nothing to do with financial status. This has everything to do with when you look at yourself in the mirror, are you pleased with what you see and not the physical? So if you know, like, I can't stand when I hear women's girl because I know I talk too much. So when you gonna shut up? Oh, girl, I know I got a bad attitude. When you gonna fix it? When you gonna
But
fix it?
but when I say it though, I have no right to say how a woman supposed to be. I just know what I don't like. I don't
Right.
like all that. I ain't trying to
But
hear all that.
that also goes back to, hey,
You got
Kay.
you got K Duplessis in the building. What's happening with the shouting?
But that also goes back to, hold on. Even if you do those professions, the complaints become no quality time. Most people aren't ready for that league. But now
Dude,
I'm so glad you
dude,
said that,
the
Christian. Let me
the work
let,
the
let
workaholics
me
catch it too. I
man,
hear you.
listen, let me touch on that. Now, everyone knows what they are capable of doing. Everyone knows. Like for me, I'm not that person that, because I love my alone time. I promise you I do. And I'm not that person who needs to be up under my significant other 24/7. As long as I know that you are healthy, long as I know that you have everything that you need, you can work 16, 17 hours a day for me. It don't bother me. Because here's the thing, you were doing that when I met you. So I had a decision to make. But for me, but
Mhm.
also too, I'm an alpha woman. And now again, let's play around with that. Stop believing that an alpha woman is a woman who's out here saying, I don't need no man. That's a woman with a chemical imbalance. And an alpha woman. That's that foolishness. Let's just tell the truth. That heifer got a chemical imbalance. An alpha woman is really a woman who does not run in packs. She don't need a bunch of homegirls to do this, and that. She's really much a loner. But all she requires for her companion to do is to be 100% him. That's it. So again, like my the last guy that I was in a relationship with, he told me when we were in a dating phase, He says one of the biggest barriers that I've had in relationships is, my hours, the hours that I work. And I'm like, well, what's wrong with your hours? He told me I don't have set hours. So he worked in the concrete industry. So he says I don't have set hours. I might get a job, I might get an assignment that might very well have me doing 100 yards this night, and the next assignment that might have me doing at least 800. I have to go ahead and just, finish it. So it might take me 4 hours, it might take me 10. So I said, okay, what's the problem? So he was like, well, I'm just not, and because of what I do, now I'm typically off on this day or that day, but I'm rested. I says, okay. And he goes, I'm not really that person unless it's like a holiday time where maybe the company shuts down. I'm not really that person that's going to make a lot of movie dates and all this and that. And I said, oh, that's fine. I don't require that. Why? If I want to go have dinner, I can feed myself. I don't need him to eat, And again, I am, and I'm one of those people. Now, if I'm just dating, then I'm dating. I'm talking to whoever. But if I say that we're in this together, I don't see anybody but you. I've always been that way. So for me, because of the hours that he had, but I didn't require that. I didn't require a weekly date night. I didn't require it. I don't always want to leave the house. Sometimes being at home watching SpongeBob and my jammies, I am content and I am cool. Why? Because I have just saved a whole bunch of money by switching to Geico. So I ain't always trying to go out the door and spend money.
I think SpongeBob had a chemical imbalance though.
Yeah, but then he will also then but I didn't require that. I'm not a woman who requires you to, well, you got to get my hair done. That's hygiene. That's just what I'm supposed to do because I'm out here looking like another munchie.
If you pass your 20s and thinking that a man's supposed to get your hair and nails done, you got a whole other set of problems, Sheldon.
That's hygiene. Those are things you're supposed to do. But again, I don't require that. I don't. Well, see, Christian, here's the problem. You're a Falcons fan. So I don't know, boo. I'm just playing.
You find another Bears fan that's from Chicago that's living in Atlanta. You let me know, because
man, we are everywhere. Boy, no, we have a very healthy fan base down here. We truly do. But anyway,
well, go ahead.
Yeah, but because I'm not a person who requires that. Have you ever find some women who say, I won't date a man unless, this is how some people are just full of it. When you hear women say, I won't date a man who won't buy me flowers or candy, but yet if you ever grab their phone, they don't have a florist on speed dial. They don't know where all the candy shops are in Atlanta. They full of it. See, now
I'm gonna be honest with you. With the ones that say that, they really be trying to sound classy, but they really some hood rats. So you take that and really kind of flip it. They want flowers and candy, right? A pack of Skittles and a bag of weed. They'll shut up.
But here's the thing. To me, a woman, there's nothing wrong with a woman who wants flowers, but she should have a florist. She should have a florist on standby that delivers fresh, long stem roses to her house weekly. Because
the weed man could be the florist.
Whomever. Well, the flowers are called for something. But the thing is, all I'm saying is the things that you want or the things that you like, you should be doing on your own. This has nothing to do with whether a man is present. So you mean to tell me that if I want to go to dinner as a single woman, I gotta wait until a man is present? Let's go eat some chicken.
But you know why though? Because a lot of them will pick somewhere they can't afford to go anyway. Now, if she had to go by her budget, it'd be the 2-piece special at churches on Tuesday.
Man, let me tell you.
But when they go out with a man that seemingly has it together financially, now they want to be all uptown at Chops. Now they want to go to STK. Can't even spell STK now, but they want to be all up in there.
Them same people who can't spell DVD.
What's the answer? What's the number to 911?
I don't know.
But
But
I'm
you know,
so serious though. I've noticed that with women when it comes to going out, when
yeah,
it comes to drinking. Oh, this is a good one. So I remember this happened to a dear friend of mine
okay.
where he was dealing with this sister. Now this sister clearly looked like she drank E&J. Clearly. But when he asked her, hey,
Not the
we
J.
man, look, when he told my son, look, I got the crib this weekend. What's happening? What you want to drink? Oh, she want 1738. She want to drink Remy. This fool
What?
here
Yeah.
go this fool go gets it. I'm just like, bro, you know she don't drink no Remy. Nah, man, she say she wants some Remy, man. She want this 1738. I mean, she couldn't just get a regular ass bottle of Remy Red. Oh no. We going top shelf 1738. So he gets it. They drinking. She throws up and passes the fuck out. So now he's sitting on the couch mad with half a bottle of liquor and can't do nothing about it because she sleep. Well, no, she not sleep. She passed out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
cause she trying to drink above her league.
you
But
know what's funny? Guys that I have coached, who because I've had and it's so funny. I have I have a mantra that I just recently adopted from a colleague of mine because she said it and I laughed. I says, "Girl, that's me and you both." And this is my new thing. I might even get me so Jason, if you still here, I need this shirt made. I needed to say, "Come holler at me. I can get everybody a man but me." And that's real. So anyway, one of my homeboys that I coached, he was feeling kind of iffy about getting out there in the dating arena, and he was just he just came to me and he was just saying, you know what, Stephanie, I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm scared. He said because nowadays you just don't know what these women are looking for. You find so many who are looking for the come up. They have, three, four, two, three, four, five children who they want help with. So I just don't know. So what I recommend, and I keep in mind, this right here is not for the weak, but this separates the women from the girls. I told him, I said, okay, so let's say you meet somebody and you like them. I said, so have a conversation, you get to know them. And I said, now based on how that conversation is flowing, then you know whether or not you may want to sit across the dinner table with them. So I told him, I says, test number one, you run on a woman to pretty much see if she is a solid woman or she's full of it. The first date, ask her to go Dutch.
oh
I,
yeah,
I'm gonna tell you why.
oh
Now,
yeah.
now
Because
you'll
I
now
mean, you
you'll
find
find
you find out that night it ain't, if it is or if it ain't about the money.
what exactly. The
Yeah.
thing is, now you'll find some women who will say, because I wasn't raised that way. My daddy taught me, your daddy didn't taught you that. So stop with the foolishness. The thing is,
Oh, you know
but
what? He will tell her that.
but
She
here's
can
the
keep
thing.
that shit.
But here's the thing. If your only value is in a dinner, you don't have no value. So when you say, well, you know what? Let's go ahead and meet. No pressure. And you can say, you know what, just for me, let's go ahead and at the first date just kind of be casual. We're getting to know each other. Now, if his upbringing is what it is, like you come from an alpha dad, you got a dad, nah man, you pick up the bill here or there, suggest Dutch. And then if she shows up, look at what she's ordering. If she's ordering top shelf, if she's ordering whatever she wants on the menu, and then you flip it and say, you know what? I thought about it. My upbringing as a man won't allow me to sit in your presence and not pick up your bill. If she says, oh, that's so nice of you, and keeps the conversation going, you got somebody you want to talk to. But if she turns around and says, oh, well, shoot, if I knew you pick up the bill, I would have ordered me two lobsters. Run,
But that's the thing though.
run. Don't even invest.
Once you suggested Dutch, and you could even kind of see how she orders. Now, if you suggest Dutch and she's ordering appetizers and the water, okay, I can see where that would have went. Now, if you suggest Dutch and she's still ordering what she wants, she still gets the surf and turf with the wholesale potatoes on the side. Oh, she could either run real fast on this bill, like check her feet, because if she got on some Asics, she gonna tap out on you. She finna run.
She
But
she can she can wash some dishes.
right, but if she got on some wedges and heels or something that's not necessarily known for running, and she still ordering what she want off the menu anyway, okay, okay, you don't have no soldier at this point. Now you sitting across from a lieutenant.
Exactly. And so
Yeah.
now you're sitting across from someone
Speaking
that
of a
can
lieutenant,
that can be now
declaring war.
now you're sitting across from someone that is a partner. You can see the potential to build with this person. You can see the potential. Now, again, this method is not for the weak. You have to know what lane you're in. Okay. So now, if she is because I like me some steak and scrimps, you can't offer Dutch to that chick. You already know what that is. Smash pass, keep it moving, So but when you are ready and you're saying that I am dating now with a purpose, I am looking for my better half. I'm looking for that woman who can feed into me with a level of emotional strength as I become her logic, as our energies exchange. I'm looking for my partner, someone who sees my purpose and sees herself in it. Not someone who needs to build me up, not someone who needs to make me this, make me that, but to someone who says, oh, I see what direction you're going in life, and my purpose connects with your purpose. Let's navigate this together. That's what you're looking for. Because now, again, but now that takes doing work. That takes a long time. That takes sometimes dinner dates by yourself. That takes going to the weddings and you're clapping for others and you are genuinely happy. But in the back of your mind, you might say, well, shoot, okay. Maybe it might not be in the car. I mean, whatever. But
Hey,
it takes a level of commitment. The biggest commitment you should make before you become someone's boo, someone's something, is a commitment to yourself. So that
I got it.
goes back.
It starts with self.
Yeah, so that goes back to why it is not impossible for a whole, fully healed single person to give advice. Why? We're speaking to the wholeness. We don't want you toxic, not for that man. We just don't want you toxic.
Yeah, just don't be
So,
toxic.
yeah, we just don't want you toxic. And we know the work that it took for us to release those toxicities. So again, this is not about, again, everyone's not going to get the high power of this, because like Christian said, that requires a level of I'm good alone, I am good by myself. Every woman can't date the truck driver. Every woman can't.
Yeah.
Every woman can't
I,
date the
I don't
everyone
I
every
don't think
woman
I
can't
don't
date.
think a truck driver should date.
But you know what? But no, I knew several truck drivers who were solid guys,
You talking
and
about we talking short runs, or we talking about over the
on the
road?
road, on the road, on the road. But they had the kind of wives. Not all of them. A few of them had the kind of wives that made sure that house ran like a well-oiled machine. They had, and then when they came home, when I tell you they didn't have to do anything, they just come home and they rested. And those wives made sure that whatever was in that truck bed, all that stuff was washed. Now again, when it comes to battling whether there's temptation on the road, infidelity, that's for that couple to figure out. But I'm very much just talking about being whole and just knowing that if you know you're dating someone who has the kind of profession that has him away from the home, are you the kind of woman that can feed into that? Are you the kind of woman that if you know that he's away, but there is nothing that your money pays for in that house because he wants your money to be your money? What are you doing with your money? Are you saving that money? Does your money go into his savings account as well as yours? What are you? So you still have a purpose to play. So no, I mean there are many people who are on the road and they're the ones who delivering produce, all the things that we need. So you don't think they need somebody at home who's going to hold it down? The same
Mm.
way everyone who has served this country. You need that woman who is solid. You out here fighting mental and physical wars. Why are you coming home and fighting a war?
But you know
So
what? That's just like being a black man in America. We
yeah,
step out that door, it's a war zone.
but again, it goes back to wholeness. Because a whole person can say, you know, this is my deal breaker. Even with my ex who I said work crazy hours, he's a fantastic guy. I tell anybody, fantastic guy, good guy. He knows exactly what he lost when he lost me, but I speak highly of him because how does that look for me not to acknowledge that he's a good guy? If I dated him, if we were exclusive to a point where I'm not dating anybody else but him, what does that say about me if I'm bashing him? The reality of it is,
That means you fucked it up.
the reality of it is, he's a fantastic guy, but unfortunately, he has one of my deal breakers. He lies. Just because you lie, don't mean you're not a good person. He just lies about stupid stuff. It's like, you know what? I I'm not trying to change you. I just can't deal with that. Now, some might say, well, hold on, he did this, he did. No, no, no. It was some deceit. It wasn't just you know how some of us embellish a story to make it sound funny. It wasn't embellishment. It was like levels of deceit. So no, that's a
Mm.
deal breaker for me. But I take nothing away from him as a hard worker, as a fantastic father, as a fantastic father and grandfather. He was a good son to his mom, fantastic little brother to his big brother. He's a good guy. I just can't deal with a level of deceit that he presents, but it don't make him a bad person. Like Samora says, he lies, so he should date somebody. He should date somebody who's sneaky.
Why they
That's
can sit
all.
there and get over on each other?
Exactly. Exactly. He needs to date somebody who's sneaky. He don't need to date somebody who's honorable. That's why we didn't work. Oh, that fool still don't you miss me? No. But again, I speak highly of him because he's not a bad guy. He's not. He just needs to date somebody who's sneaky. So any women out there want a good guy who's sneaky, holler at me. Holler at me. I mean, I know somebody.
Yo, my folks in the chat. So Kay says shouldn't ask for what they can't provide for themselves, but expect the man to flip through hoops. But they do.
But they do. They,
But
they
they
do.
do. They
But that
do.
but again,
Sarge said asking for Dutch is like declare war. That is true. But you know what? She did you a solid. If you asked her to go Dutch and she showed her ass, guess what? Now we ain't gotta go nowhere. I could
except
save the time. I could save the money. I could save everything. Like now we don't even have to budge. You just
it
did me a solid.
it separates the women from the girls because one thing about a woman who really desires to be a partner, desires to be an asset and not a liability. This is a woman that if you all are out dining, that she every now and then she'll say, baby, you good, I got it. It's come from the same pot anyway, but she said, no, baby, this is on me. And it's not a special occasion. It's not Father's Day, not your birthday. It's just because she appreciates what you deposit in her life, what you bring to her life. So this date is all about you. It's just because it's Tuesday. So
Right.
that's what you're looking for. And trust me, there are women out there that are like that, but what they're tired of, they stay to themselves because they're tired of the foolishness. They're tired of it. So not a whole bunch, but there are plenty. There are some that
And
are out here
you
and
know what
they want to be partners. They want to be
you,
assets.
what's ironic about that is that a man will treat that like a tightrope, but he'll treat that like thin ice. Um, when a woman offers to pay, because it's like you never know when she's gonna try to hold that over your head, when she's gonna throw it back at you, like, oh, your broke ass couldn't even buy a salmon the other day. You know what I'm saying? You never know. So it's like, do I want this that bad that I'm willing to have this free night out? It's like you don't even enjoy it
But
because you're waiting on the other shoe to fall.
that's why you become whole yourself. Because yeah, You will attract a whole person will attract wholeness as well. You will. Now
Which part's not true?
you will. Because thing is, okay, if a woman is authentic and yeah, if a woman is authentic and if she truly desires that I'm building with you, um, I'm building with you, we're in this together, that woman don't see that moment of picking up the tab as if he can't do it. Even if okay, let's say now here's the thing. What if that man, what if that man's money might be a little funny, but yet every bill in the house is paid. He has covered everything. Your money is not needed to touch any kind of bill. So, right, he just took your car, filled up your tank. He filled up his tank for the week. He had, he has enough. He has maybe something happened, maybe an emergency happened, whatever. But he doesn't have maybe this go around. He don't have the extra to kind of splurge, but you do. A woman who comes to a table understands that we are partners. In her mind, shoot, if I got $500, he got 500. It's our money. This is what we're doing together. It don't matter sometimes who card swipes. It's going to the same place. It's going to the same
Only a
place.
girl will throw in the man face what she do. I'm
Uh-huh.
not saying that they won't. I'm saying that it happens though.
Oh, it does. It happens. But when it happens, the question
Beautiful.
is, yeah,
Let's see.
when it,
Let's see if Miss Parker come back.
huh?
Oh, she kind of back. She frozen.
No, you're frozen. We
Oh,
here?
Miss Parker. Oh,
I'm,
swirly line.
hold on.
I don't know. Move or something. Oh, I think you there. Oh, yeah, you blinked. You there. So no, I mean
Am I here?
in a there you go. But in addressing
Okay.
this though, it's like, yeah, we talking about whether she girl, woman, the homosexual, what happened, it happens. That happens. You know what I'm saying? And they will throw it in your face. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So how
But
you choose to see that particular female, that's your business. But not nonetheless, a man dealing with a female, it can get thrown in his face. Now it's
but
like Ms. Parker said, you know, if she willing to soldier for you when you down and vice versa, you got you a good one. Salute. It don't always happen though.
it doesn't always happen that way. But here's the thing. And but this is the
Peace,
one
knowledge,
thing
love. What's good, brother?
but this is the one thing that a lot of people um this is one of the things that a lot of people don't fully grasp a hold of. This only got to work once. So we keep talking about, oh, well, they ain't out here. Understand, this only really has to work once. So if you decide that you go entertain 50 people, now you got 49 pains in the ass. You've done that to yourself. So that's when it goes back to, this is what I'm looking for. If you don't check those boxes, and I'm not saying, oh, he got to be 6'2", he got to have this.
Uh,
let's
so
let's
so
let's get
you're not
past
gonna
that.
come with the 666 mafia. That's how
I
I
mean,
used to call it.
I
The
mean, listen,
6 feet, 6 pack, 6 figures.
listen.
Throwing that
I'm not,
fourth when he drive a 600.
I'm not saying that those things aren't necessarily nice, but I'm saying that as we have evolved as adults, you're looking for, now again, let's be real. You have to be attracted to the person. So
That
what
definitely goes first.
yeah,
That
you
definitely
you
goes
you
first.
have to be, because a conversation can't even happen if you can't look at them. Let's just
But
be real.
see, how come when I say it though? Because I tell them like quick, like, look, it was always aesthetics that happened first because you can't see a beautiful mind.
You
I
can't.
don't know what kind of person you are past them teeth.
Yeah.
But when I say it, I'm superficial. You know what?
But
I'm gonna start wearing my hats.
But no, and here's the thing. I tell people, wear your hats and wear them proudly, because
Oh yeah.
people just aren't willing to tell the truth. Only time that sounds superficial is to a person who believes that they don't have a chance with you.
Or they probably got
That's
big
why
teeth
it
and a
sounds
beautiful mind.
superficial. But the one thing that has to happen first is You gotta be physically attractive. Now, I'm not that person who now how some women say, "Oh, I don't date light skinned men." You a fool. See, I don't even want to have conversations with you. If you are still in 2023, when
Hunger for
we are
color.
in 2023, when you are still playing around with colorism, in 2023, when you have seen various shades of our beautiful black men on the concrete with their guts blown the hell out because someone decided they weren't worthy enough because they had melanin, and you still because he light skinned, you are a fool. And you a fool, and I need you to give me 50 feet. I don't even have any energy for you. None whatsoever. There's nothing wrong with saying that my preference is this, because what if your Mr. Right is chocolate? What if your Mr. Right is this? What if your Mr. Right is, whatever? So a person can't help their complexion. My mother's fair skin, my father was dark skin. I'm caramel. So I can't help my color. But if that's the first thing you say is he can't be light skinned, he can't be this, you a fool. I mean, let's just be real. Now, it is okay to say, I am attracted to this because I just love that. That's fine. But
That's like the,
when
it's
you,
like the
but when,
same thing, but it seems a little more elegant and less self Negro hating.
right, but to me, I refuse to do the very thing that separated slaves in the field. I refuse to say
I get that.
because you were fair skinned, you were in the house. Because you were dark, you were in the field. I refuse to be that person that says, "Oh, well, you this, oh, you that." I refuse. I don't play into the stereotype of, "Oh, light skin, a weak, good, dark skin, this and that." I've dated all complexions, so whatever. But the thing is, I will say you do have to have a level of attraction. You have to be attracted to them. But at this stage in the game, you're looking for who brings a level of strength to your life. If I'm bringing peace as a woman, if I'm gifting him with the level of peace, is he gifted me with strength? If I'm bringing if I'm bringing healthy emotion, is he bringing healthy logic? What are we exchanging? Because we're dope alone, but together we can rock this thing out.
Right.
So
It has to be a compliment.
it it has to be. It has to be. But if in 2023, the first thing you say, he light skin. Yeah. Your favorite color is the number two. I don't even have conversations with you. I can't. I can't. Honestly, I can't with you. Because no. But like I said, but that goes back to just saying, now again, I stand here and I will say no one has a right to tell you how to navigate your relationship, because no one situation is 100% ideal for someone else. But we are encouraging wholeness. We're encouraging healing, whatever that looks like. If that means going to therapy, if that means going to prayer, if that means, taking, write journaling. I'm a person that I journal, I write things down. So sometimes I might say, oh, I gotta change this about me, because I know I've been told in relation when I've been dating that I come across very nonchalant. And I say, well, it's not that I it's not that I don't care. It's just that I don't give a lot of things energy that I don't really see, make a lot of sense. Now, don't mean that I don't care. It just means that I'm very funny about my energy. I'm funny about where I deposit this, when I say this, when I say that, I'm very funny about when I speak on certain things. Brian says red bones. I mean, that's wonderful. I mean, here's the thing. Like what you like. Like what you like, because that's one of the biggest things. You have to be with someone that you are physically attracted to, because that is one, because yeah, that's a recipe for disaster right there. We think about infidelity and things of that nature. If that person doesn't do it for you physically, you're going to find something that does.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But again, there's absolutely nothing wrong with saying, "Oh my gosh, I just like this, I just like that." However, we should have evolved by now. We should be looking for a little bit more than just someone's hair texture.
I'm
I
just saying.
heard,
I mean, it's one of those type things. You said we should be involved. I'm just saying we're too old for that shit. No.
you know what? I heard, what is his name? Come on now, help me out with it. I just dropped it that fast. He's not a fan. He's not a lot of people's favorite. Dr. Umar. Dr. Umar.
Ah, Umar Johnson. Okay.
I heard Dr. Umar say he was on the show with DJ Envy and Charlotte and Charlemagne
Okay. Breakfast
at
Club.
the Breakfast Club, and I heard him say, because he's single, he's a single man, and he's out here. To me, a person like Dr. Umar, he might need to get him a wife. I mean, he needs a wife. Like he don't
Hey,
need to
I'm gonna
go,
be honest with you. I thought he had one.
but no, he's single. Dr. Umar's single, but Dr. Umar said he already put it out there and was like, the kind of person that he is, he would not marry a woman that wears blonde weave. He won't marry. He wants a woman. His thing is, if I know who I am and I know my platform and I know what I speak, what I look like, I can't be out here
Mm-mm.
married to a woman that
It
wear
would
blonde.
it would contradict his platform.
It would contradict his platform. But then
Mhm.
he turned around and he was like, I want a woman who was 100% natural. I don't even want her to straighten her hair. And it's like, well, hold on, Doc. Now, see, I was rolling with him with the other stuff, but I said, but wait a minute. And so, but again, that goes back to the knowledge that he has limited about women of color in our hair. Just because a person might get a silk, I don't have any chemicals in my hair. Just because a person might get a silk press, it doesn't mean their hair is not natural.
That ain't nothing but ultra perm. How you want it?
But again, I'm no way at all saying that I want to marry Dr. Umar. But what I'm saying is sometimes we say things and we don't realize, because his thing is, well, why would I want a woman who straightened her hair, who tries to look Europeanized? Well, let's back up, brother. Because if you do your research, you will find that there was a famous hairstylist by the name of Francois Ben something. The name evades me. But what he was very, I mean, he was very popular back, I want to say, in maybe the 1800s, 1700s. So he was, no, 1800s, because he gets credit for inventing the pressing comb. Why? Because he had so many of his clients that would come to him with images of Egyptian queens, and they would say, we want our hair silky, straight, and dark like we see on these images. Now, I don't care how many times Elizabeth Taylor may have played Cleopatra, you ain't pulling Egypt out of Africa. So what does that say? Every hairstyle is ours. Every hairstyle is ours, whether it's the fro, the curly fro, whether it's the sister locks or the locks, whether it's a silk press. Every hairstyle is ours. Now, I'm okay when he's referencing, well, I can need a woman with blonde hair. I got that, but don't keep on talking without the knowledge behind certain things. No, when a black woman straightens her hair, she's not pardon me, she's not being Europeanized. That came from Egypt. So,
But does the lay average black woman even know that?
here's the thing: whether they know it or not, you can't. Whether they know it or not, it's still factual. Whether they know it or not. So, but that's what happens.
But having that knowledge is only powerful when it's applied. If you ain't even
But
got that, if you didn't even have that to even have your base on, then in that aspect, he would be right.
but that's when that's why you don't, as my mom says, you don't cut off your nose and spite your face. That's why you have further conversation. You mean to tell me that it goes back to how a woman says, I'm not gonna date a guy who's light skinned, but he checks all those boxes. He's a gentle, he's a protector, he's a provider, he's supportive, he is someone that can pour into your life. He is someone that can take you from this level to that level. You feel emotionally, physically, and spiritually safe with him. And you mean to tell me you're going to pass that up because he's a fairer hue? Hmm, don't make sense to me.
But you
But
know
I
what?
know,
Guys catch that all the time. Guys
huh?
catch but guys catch that though. You know what I'm saying? Whether you too dark, too light, too short, too fat. However,
Yeah.
if you don't fit this certain build or criteria, it's like, you know what I'm saying, you could have all the intangibles, you could have the tangibles, but just one or two things aesthetically, and then it's just like, oh, throw the whole dude away. But
Oh,
then it's ironic though, you flip the other side of that coin, women give you the, well, why can't you just accept me how I am?
right. And don't
But
get me wrong.
but if that was me, I'd have been, you'd have been canceled me.
Don't get me wrong. I have heard more, for instance, I have heard more women than anything body shame Lizzo more than I have men. Now, here's my thing. I personally don't care for you out here being naked. I don't really care for, here's the thing, I don't even care for it. And I think she is super talented. I think she looks incredible. I think she's always been beautiful. And I think she's probably the prettiest in her family. I don't typically I don't typically care for the nudity that you always see with Tony Braxton. Every time Tony's out, Tony's somewhere with this out, this. It's like, baby, you a whole mama, and you got and she's as pretty as she wants to be. So I'm just a woman that don't always necessarily care for a woman just all. I mean, just everything now. I believe in a level of modesty.
Yeah.
Now, I believe in being sexy as crap. I believe, a little leg, a little cleavage, I never hurt anybody. But if every time you turn around if every time you turn around, you naked. You just, it's
That
like, what's
that,
going
that
on?
makes that makes me think you have nothing else to offer.
Why? So again,
Because
I
I've heard the argument about, oh, Lizzo's so talented, she does this, this, and this. I am a lover of music, you know, first and foremost. That's why I have DJ on my name right there. I'm a lover of music. I
yeah,
can't tell you two Lizzo songs. Why? Because every time Lizzo comes up in press, it's because her butt is out.
yeah,
And I can't, and it was like, oh, but she could play the flute. I've never heard it. Why? Because her butt's in my face. I
my
can't hear her play the flute. Like
and
all of that, if she is musically talented, as they say, all the antics overshadow that to the point to where it's like I can't even give you a fair shake at this point.
that's the reason why, and I think she's adorable. That's the reason why I love the way Janelle Monae presents herself. Janelle Monae is as adorable as they come. Now I know she's fluid and she dates energy. So that energy might be in a man on Tuesday, might be in a woman on Thursday. So I know she's very open with her preferences. But that's one of the reasons why she be out there with a shirt all the way up here and fully covered because pardon me, she wants you to see that she's talented. I mean, now look aesthetically, you can look at her. She's pretty
Hmm.
and she's talented. So
Hmm.
she don't. So again, a person who is talented don't always have to show that. But we know in music society, sex sells because there's another image of her that was recently posted
Oh
where
yeah.
yeah, where she had on this shirt and she was wet and you could see everything. So we do know that yeah, you get more play because sex does sell. We do know that. We do.
Miss Monet just exposed them bazongas. God damn. How big they gotta be to be bazongas?
I guess.
So I don't know, Miss Parker. No, that's what she was saying,
Yeah,
Spud. Like the thing was when Janelle Monet first came out, she's out there singing about tightrope in a tuxedo.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just recently that Janelle Monet is out here talking about she the lipstick lover and everything else that we seen in that video that I didn't watch over 100 times. Did she freeze or is that just a look of disappointment? Damn.
Okay. And can you hear me? Can you see me?
Oh, there you go. I was about to say either she froze or that was just the utter look of disappointment. Okay, what is happening here? Dr. Dope don't want to look at butts and Janelle Monet been wilding.
Not at first. Not at first. You. I mean, it kind of reminds me of even how TLC when they first came out. When TLC first came out, they all three women. What I loved about that group was all three women were beautiful. One wasn't prettier than the other. All three of them were just beautiful women. But they had the big baggy clothes. They wore, the big old hats, the big old boots, the condoms on their eyes and things, which of course they were promoting, sexual responsibility, protecting
Right.
yourself. So
Hmm.
with that, but when they got out there and they got these records and they not seeing a whole lot of residual from those records, then they said, the next album, you're like, wait a minute, you look kind of thick type of thing, because they were just naked.
But you know what? It wasn't because the lack of sales and whatnot was the reason why they weren't seeing residuals. They got signed to the worst contract probably
Worst
in
contract
in
ever.
record industry history because all three of those albums went platinum. The Ooh on a TLC tip, Crazy Sexy Cool, Fan Mail, all three of them went platinum
Yeah,
multiple times. But when you signed to a janky contract, they could have did everything but get naked and still not get paid.
yeah. But look at how they started off. They started off, you didn't know how they were shaped. By that next album,
That
you're
Crazy
like,
Sexy Cool
yeah,
album,
yeah,
uh,
yes, yeah,
Red
especially,
Light Special,
yeah. He's like,
the
wait a
creep
minute.
video with the silk pajamas.
It's like, wait a minute, hold on, what happened?
Hmm.
But we understand that unfortunately that's kind of what happens. But it's no different than when it's no different than when you might have some rap. Okay, look at how when Tip first came out. Now that his first album to me is still his best album.
I
But
think
when he
I like the second one.
nah that first one.
I would go track for track trap music versus I'm serious.
But when you look at that first album, look at how he looked. He was young. He had the gray Scully. He had the gray Scully. He's actually leaning. He's actually he's looking like a. I hate to use this word, but I'm not going to use the word. But he's looking maybe like a guy from the streets. As
Looking real bankhead.
Yeah, okay, there you go. But as Tip evolved, you started to see him being photographed because the boy can dress. People don't give him the credit that they should in terms of how intelligent this man is and how the boy can put some suits together.
But
He can,
he can't put words together though. Like all those what you don't have to use that many and you're ELA teacher. You don't have to put an adverb on top of an adjective on top of an
but
adverb to
but
sit on a
listen,
noun.
but this is coming from someone who dropped out of high school. So, someone who dropped out of high school who never lost his love of learning. And he has a personal thing that he does for himself. He has so many words that he learned a day. So he knows these words. He knows the origin of these words. He knows whether or
Say
not.
everything
Yeah,
but the application, huh?
but but now, okay, like I say, go back to when Ice Cube had um the show that D Ray Davis hosted, the uh Celebrity Squares.
Oh, I forgot about
So
that.
so the short time, because I loved it, I watched it faithfully. Because
Mm.
one reason why I watched it faithfully was for Tip. Because I knew 99.8% of the time, if you went to Tip, he had the right answer. The man is intelligent, and
I give him this.
the man's
He
intelligent,
did
and
over time evolve himself into, say a level of refinement because I
he
mean,
has.
one thing that I learned is that you can't sell dope forever.
You can't.
Even in the music, you can't sell dope forever. Like, I mean, I you say Tip, I look at Young Jeezy. You know what I'm saying? I look at his
Yeah.
evolution, and Young Jeezy's well in his 40s, like, and he knew,
Mhm.
hey, I can't sell dope forever, like, and has totally 180. Looks like he's a happy family man now.
Yeah, I mean, but see, again, but that's kind of what happens with evolution. I mean, look at old school, look at Wu-Tang Clan Method Man, and look at Method Man now. Now that's a
With the white contact and the
now
crazy hair.
right. That's a heck of an evolution. But now you all know, anybody who know me know, I have my favorite in terms of hip hop artists, my favorite evolution. And that is none other than Mr. David Banner himself. David Banner,
Mississippi,
David Banner, from from the first album where he all making the mean faces to seeing how
Mississippi, the
perfectly
album.
gorgeous his doggone teeth are. Now that's grown man fine right there. But he's always been good looking. But that's not what they played on. They had to play on he Mississippi. He this gold teeth. The man is a thesis statement away from his master's degree. Put a little respect on his name. But the reality of it is, when but again, these are some of the things that they had to do, and now they're in position to control their narrative. So no, I
Well,
love the evolution of. I mean, even like when Killer Mike first came out, you see Killer Mike then, you see Killer Mike now. I love the
and
evolution
that's one of the things I
that you
will say
see.
about Killer Mike though, is that I would say he would be the outlier in that conversation because if you listen to the Monster album versus like I'm Serious versus Mississippi the album and all that, outside of the singles that we heard on the radio, you could tell Killer Mike was fresh out of somebody's college somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And it was never a question about that. Now we later found out, learned about David Banner, that yeah, this dude's a whole college graduate. You know what I'm saying?
SGA president at Southern,
Right.
but
Like, you know what I'm saying? I think it hit for me when I saw David Banner on Cribs. And just his demeanor was so chill. And his biggest accomplishment on Cribs was that he had a lake in the back that he could fish in. And he had a van. This was the van that he took from Mississippi, drove to New York. He said, I went up there with $300 and a pistol demanding a record deal. And I wasn't leaving without it. But he slept
mhm,
in that van. He said he kept that van. The van is sitting in his backyard. And it was so the humility in that. Now, mind you, did he have a jacuzzi in the floor like Scarface? Absolutely. I mean,
yeah,
we talk about that like a pimp money that came back in '02. So, but it was his humility when he goes in his backyard. He got his van that he used to sleep in right here, and he got a lake that he could just sit and chill and fish in if he wants to. I was like, you know what? That's all right.
yeah,
But but you had to. I tell a lot of people when it comes to certain artists, you got to listen beyond the radio songs. The album songs will tell you who you're listening to. When you
right.
listen to I always like Mississippi the album because literally the last three songs they were real they were real introspects on who he was. He loved home, he loved family, and he hated George Bush at the time. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, well, no, this guy's just not just like a pimp, show my gold teeth, growl at the camera. No,
Yeah,
no, no,
yeah.
no, no, no.
But yeah, it's funny because now actually, yeah, now I admit, for for my own reasons, that one of my favorite songs by him is still play. I'll leave it at that. Hey, I'm grown. I'll leave it at that. But he says that one of the reasons why that song was kind of so important wasn't just about talking about the actual act. It was because he was coming across as scary. So someone had to let him know. Someone had to let him know, listen, understand that you're coming across in a way that you're going to be typecast and you're not going to be marketable. So people need to be able to see that you're actually funny, that you're actually a goofball, that you're actually, whatever.
When
So
when
that
he
was
did
that
that,
was
when he
one of the
did that,
reasons why from there his music had to become just a little bit softer, because at that point he was coming across scary. But with that song, the ladies fell in love with him. And
one of the things about it was with that album. The album was called Certified. I want to say that was his third album. It was an image change for him completely.
Yeah,
Like on the cover of the album, he's wearing a suit. Where if you look at Mississippi, the album 1 and 2, you know what I'm saying, he's got the headband on, he got a throwback jersey on. But one of the things we got to look at too, and the times changing, he gets older.
yeah,
Like he gets older. So like, can you be the raw scary ass nigga at 32 that you was at 22?
no,
Like, if you still want, you gotta evolve with your age too. Can't say adult
absolutely.
forever. You can't got name rah 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 get crunk forever. You know what I'm saying? My boy
Yeah,
Quentin Presley's in the building. Antonio Slim right here, who is a music anthologist. Like anything you want to know about anybody, ask him. He got an hour conversation for you. But said Noriega was the one that helped push Banner. I could see that. I could definitely see that. And I remember the group Crooked Letters. Had the song with Pimp C, Get Buck. Like that's classic Banner right
yeah,
there. Like
yeah,
you gotta know about Mr. Franklin and Mr. Crump.
yeah.
Yeah, I was there for that too. But I'm a DJ. I know everything. He said, "Fuck that. I'm gonna be scared." Slim, you scare us now though. Like you actually, I don't know if you scare us. You just make us nervous. But yeah, that's my boy Quentin Presley, Antonio Slim. Y'all will see him here soon enough because he got a lot of stuff that's in the works right now, and he'll be here on the Dope Show. But
Cool.
final thoughts, Miss Parker. What advice do you have to give to the single folks with advice?
I mean, the thing is,
God damn it, Slim. See, and this is why I say what I say about him
but
right here.
yeah, between Quentin and Jason, huh?
I
But
mean, look here.
you know what? At the end of the day, my best advice is be you. You know, you have to the best person to date, the best person to adorn, to love on, the best person to send flowers to take on candlelight, to have candlelight dinners with you is really yourself. You really got to find that time to love you. Whatever it is that you like, you do, and never give anybody the responsibility to make you happy. That is too much of a task for someone to have. Your happiness should not be in the hands of anyone else. So if the biggest takeaway people can take away from what we talked about today is we're not going for perfection. We're going for wholeness. We need you healed. We need you healed. We need you whole. And this thing called life, if you choose to navigate it with someone or alone, then just be the best you. For those people like yours truly who is successfully, happily single, understand that being single is not a curse, it is not a death sentence. If you do indeed desire companionship, it will happen, it will come. I want to leave you with the image of a mountain. You know how when you go up to any mountain at the very valley is a whole bunch of people, because that's where everybody starts. And the valley's beautiful. You have your vegetation, you have your greenery, it's beautiful. However, when you decide that you want to climb to that mountain top, everybody can't make that mountaintop. Everybody can't make it. So if you find yourself like, man, I'm doing everything right. I'm elevating myself. I'm climbing to the top metaphorically. I'm doing these things. Why haven't I found my person? Because you probably haven't hit the top yet. They're there. I guarantee you. So keep climbing. Keep climbing. There is someone for everyone, and your souls will definitely meet. But whenever it's time, just know that when it's time, the goal is to go into it whole. The goal is to go into it healed. People who have hurt you, take your responsibility for allowing that and forgive them. You need that peace so that you can move forward. You know, it's just like if you go from Jamaica to Cancun. Hopefully, you're going to unpack your suitcase before you pack for another one. Same thing with a relationship. Before you go anywhere else, before you evolve from singleness to being married, please make sure that you unpack, because no one else deserves your baggage. Other than that, be dope. Be dope. Enjoy yourselves. Matter of fact, tomorrow I'm excited because I was gifted. The beauty about being educators, sometimes when you do right by your students, every now and then you might find one who might say, "Ooh, I thank you," because I was getting ready to fail. And you took time with me. So I had a mother-son combination 2 days before we got out of school that actually kind of gave me a little gift card that they had no idea to, one of my favorite kicking spots. So tomorrow for lunch, I'm gonna take myself out and have a good old time because why? I'm fantastic company. And it's just what I choose to do. I'm not out searching, but when it's time, that connection will happen. I'm not worried about it because again, it's easy. I mean, it's easy if you just want a vessel, you just want a temple, that's easy to get somebody. But if you're dating with a purpose and you are looking to connect with that person who is going to feed into your purpose as you feed into them, that person who is going to transfer their emotional or logical strength and you exchange strengths, if this is what you're looking for, keep doing the work. I guarantee you will find it. It's out here. It's out here. So just keep being you. No, there's nothing wrong with you being single. Look at all these. Look at how many beautiful people that are out here. Whether they are celebrities of now who are living life and they're single, they're dating here, there, but they're single. So no, it is not a death sentence. You will meet the person who is meant for your happily ever after, because it does exist. Fairy tales don't, but happily ever afters do. So that's it. That's it for me.
I hear that. My biggest thing is just be honest, people.
Oh
Um,
sure.
if you're that said person that people are seeking advice from, one, be honest that you're a person of that said ability that could give said advice. Because
Know your
you can't
lane.
you can't be toxic and giving out more toxicity. You know what I'm saying? Nothing's worse than no education than miseducation.
Yeah.
So, be honest with yourself first that you are a person of that ability that can give sound advice. Also, you got to be honest with the people you giving the advice to. Don't have them out here thinking that everything is somebody else's fault, because I get it. Accountability is a lost art, but be honest with yourself. Be honest with your peoples. Everything should be all right in that respect. But if it ain't, I mean, check self first. Don't be quick to point outward. Check self first if shit ain't working how you think it should.
Fix you. Fix you. I heard David and Tamala Mann say, make a list. David Mann said, make a list. And make the list as extensive as you want. Add everything to it. I don't care from height, complexion, everything. And the very thing that you put on your list, take one more step. You become that list. You become the very thing you desire. And I guarantee you, if you become that, and then you meet a person that's already done, man, listen. Now that's what we're talking about. That's what we need to take back. Because all of these relation, all of the whole Krishan and Blueface, all this
Oh
foolishness, and
God.
no, we need to control our images in terms of our families again. When we talk about taking back our community, that it starts with family. It starts with the right connections. We need more images of the Savannahs and the LeBrons. We need more images of the Michelles, the Baracks, the Kim and the O'Shea, better known as Ice Cube. We need
Mhm.
more of those images. The LL and Simone, Samuel and Latanya, Denzel and Pauletta. I
But
can
but
go on.
but not
We
just the
need more of those.
celebs though. We need the Mr. and Mrs. Parkers, the Mr. and Mrs. Stevens of the world. Like, yeah, these people aren't celebrities, but goddamn, like
Because
they made it work. I
listen,
know my parents. October be 43 years.
listen, at the time that my father passed away, March 24, 2019, my parents were at 54 and a half years.
That's
And
what
it
I'm
would have
saying.
it would have been 55 years in August 19, my parents' wedding anniversary. And when I tell you it wasn't easy, I'm a product of that. I didn't always see I saw more good times than I saw bad.
No
And
doubt.
they definitely didn't hide things from their children. But one thing I would tell you that I saw my daddy do every single night, my daddy was home. My daddy didn't go to the bar. He didn't hang out with the homeboys. He didn't. He wasn't in the streets. Why was he at home so much? His peace was there. No matter what they may have stumbled across, no matter what turbulence they may have experienced on this journey together, there was peace. My father always taught me, a man's going to go where there is peace. And he told me as an adult woman, he said, he always told me, he says, coming home to my daughters was a perk, but it wasn't the reason why I came to that door. And I'm like, huh? What, we chop liver? He says, listen, I love my children. He goes, but my kids going to be my kids no matter what. He says, I didn't come home for you all. I came home because my wife was there. And I said, well, okay, player from the him. But when I tell you, they weren't perfect, but they were perfectly matched. But there was also one thing they had, they were whole. My mother did not require, her happiness was not attached to her husband. His happiness was not attached to her, but they were happy together. And even something as simple as the day that he transitioned, it was a Sunday. I had flown back to Atlanta because I had, went home, kissed on him, loved on him, told him I love him, I'm going to miss him, but you go on, we're going to be okay. So he transitioned on a Sunday. My sister who was there, she said the one thing my daddy loved, he loved my mother's hair. And he always had the thing about us always having on earrings. I see my earrings. So that was his thing. You leave out the house, you don't leave out the house without your earrings. So prior to him, here he is literally moments away from just saying, God, I'm coming. And my mother literally, the last thing that she did was she took her rollers out of her hair, made sure her earrings were on, and she went in and kissed her husband and held his hand until he transitioned. Now, who thinks about stuff like that? But that was important to him. That was their thing, So that's what you want. That's how that's how you have made it. Not your children being around your bed when you close your eyes, but your woman being there, your man being there. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for wholeness. We're not looking for perfection. None of us are. But that's exactly what we're looking for. So it's out here. Go find it. And keep in mind, it's only supposed to work once. That's why you date. And you don't date with a level of, are you it? Are you it? Are you it? You're going to wear yourself out. Enjoy the journey. But know what you bring to the table. Know what your deal breakers are. And when you see the deal breaker, then don't date that person anymore.
It's funny that you say enjoy the journey, because this ride is a shit show.
But
it is probably one of the best calamity of errors I've ever seen. I wish they'd have told me this back in the day. Wear a helmet, seatbelt, goggles. Like I'd have known what I was getting myself into.
The reason why it's become for lack of better words, the reason why it's become a shit show is because of all the shit we putting in, because all the shit that we tolerate. We need to go back to the basics on this one. Are you healed? I don't need to know why that last relationship of yours didn't work. For what? That's your business. Where are you now? What did you learn from that? What did you take from that? So I don't need to know. So I don't need to know what happened with this person, that person. That's none of my business. Matter of fact, because as a woman, women, we're able to digest more. I'll say the women digest more maybe about our significant other's past. But if a woman get to talking and telling that man that, back in the day, I used to be the married, I used to love me some married men. I used to love to have exactly. So we're able to digest more, but that's why I tell people, man, what happened between you and Leroy ain't got nothing to do with you, and it got nothing to do with you and this guy. Stop telling your past so much. You're
And
not there anymore. You're still
and I and
living
I
it.
will I will cut you off before you get the second word out there. Just like, hey, yo, I don't want to hear. I don't want to know. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? I mean, maybe it goes to that thing of being able to digest. I'm be honest. I'm like bulimic when it comes to that. Like, yo, it ain't going down. If it is sit there, it's gonna come right back. I don't want to hear it.
yeah. Because
I'm gonna be Rexy,
because
goddamn.
okay, because okay. Let's be real. I've seen this happen. You find a I'm
God damn
saying
it.
this. You find a woman, let's just say this. You find a woman who meets a man who, we all have our day, we all have our days of being wild, okay? So let's say you meet a woman who you and this man getting along, you all begin to date and and then you decide, let's go ahead and do this thing exclusively. But now you told that man that just recently you used to hang out with this man, this man, this man, that man. Three of those men you mentioned were married. You used to have this kind of relationship. You open this way, you open that way, but that man got a daughter. How long do you think you got to be around that man? Shut your mouth. Because guess what? He can replace you. That daughter's always going to be his. And he has to take into consideration what he brings around his daughter in terms of an influence. Then
Fact.
you wonder why he ain't brought me home to mama. Why to get cussed out? Mama can see right through it. Shut
Mama,
your mouth.
mama, like, where you get this hoe from?
Exactly. Exactly. Like I said, I didn't I'm grateful. I haven't had to go through a whole lot. Uh Quentin, baby, I'm gonna need you to hush.
It's a value pack Bobby Brown. All I needed was Coke and 5
I'm
y'all
gonna need
good.
you to hush. Because here's the thing, Quentin. There might be somebody on this platform that said, I want to see Quentin. And you just said that and they go, hold on, I'm scared. But no,
No,
like I
I mean, and he is knowing him and have known him for over 10 years. No matter of fact, close to 20 now. Genuinely good guy, but he is not shy about who he is.
listen, my
And
thing is this. My belief is this. I don't have to share my past with you. Because why? Were you there?
I mean,
So,
we say past, but when I mean a past could be last year, last month, last decade, or yesterday.
but again, that's when it goes back to have you unpacked. Have you like for it? Okay, let's play around with this. Remember the whole image that went viral, where you had Trina, Kimberly's, and Yolanda Adams and Freaknik,
Was that
and
really them though?
it was them. Oh, yeah, it was them.
I
It was
don't
them.
I don't I don't believe that was them.
It was them. Yeah, it was them. But the thing is, Kimberly Elise, Yolanda Adams went to Spelman. And people are looking at Yolanda Adams, the gospel singer, the pastor, whatever, but she's a beautiful woman, tall, statuette. I mean, beautiful woman. She
You think
went to Freaknik, but people are more concerned about, oh, that's Yolanda Adams. Why the heck was Trina there at 15?
like,
So if you,
ask about all the 15-year-olds that was here in Atlanta that just
so
went.
and she lived in Miami. So who the heck transported her little fast butt all the way to Atlanta? So again, but your past, as long as it's not something that is going to impact the future, who I dated and the mistakes that I have made, if I have evolved from them, if I have learned from them, if I have taken the time to unpack that situation, to take what I needed to learn from that, and now this is what you get. Understand that that was a stepping stone for me to get to where, maybe for me to get to you. I don't need to know the name. I don't need to know Betty. I don't need to know Betty, Samantha, Jane. I don't need to know the number. If you go right now and pee, does it hurt? So as long as hey,
Oh,
so again, we spend so much time believing, oh, well, I gotta keep it real. No, shut your mouth. Because every time you open your mouth and you telling somebody what you used to do, you are putting yourself in a box. and you are putting yourself in a box only going to allow you to date a certain type. Take the lid off. You want no limits to
That's that.
whatever you choose to do.
That's
So
that.
if you, I don't care if he is the janitor or he owns the Fortune 500 company, you don't want the limitation. So how do you prevent that? The very thing that men have been trying to do since the beginning of time: shut women up. Stop talking. You didn't make a mistake. You made a decision. Boo, did you learn from it? Okay, you did all right. Now go ahead, go wash your hands and do better. But that doesn't need to be discussed in this present situation. Does the past impact the present? And if it does not, it does not to be brought up. We keep talking about it. Stop living in the past. Quit bringing it up. So no, we got, again, when we know better, we do better. So we have to just learn how to navigate this thing. Because again, I don't need to tell nobody what happened between me and my ex. None of your business. Again, like I said, he's a good guy, fantastic guy, hard worker, like my daddy. Sports fan, you name it. Good looking guy, tall, chocolate, you name it. But in terms of what he brings and the level of deception, I can't deal with. I can't fully navigate that. So I choose not to. But it doesn't mean that I toss out those other good qualities about him, which is why I tell people. I even tell him, I said, I'm gonna find you a girlfriend. So you stop calling me every now and then. I'm gonna find you a girlfriend. But I gotta find somebody who's sneaky. You you gotta be sneaky to be with him, because hell, it works. He's deceptive, you sneaky, bam. I was sitting at the wedding and I do not have that gift.
Sound like a lot waiting to happen. But tell these folks how they can follow you, what you got going on out here in the city, if anything, and
Man, right now, what I got going on in the city is just enjoying the first day of summer, although it feels like spring, fall. But you can find me, Stephanie D. Park, or Stephanie Park on Instagram. Oh, on Facebook, Instagram at ESDION Enterprises. You go ahead, and if I typically see that you are a friend of Agonies, I go ahead and I fully accept. So yeah, because yeah, Tina would tag me in things, I'll tag Tina in things. So I have met a lot of fantastic people from this platform. So if you want to know where to find me, go ahead and know where to find me. Right now, as an educator, I'm enjoying these last few weeks before I go back to make a difference in the lives of eighth grade people via ELA
oh
and just
my
life.
god, and they are winding down too. I got a call from the board the other day. It was a call meant for the parents about some kind of update they got to do on their registration. But I just like, damn, the fact that I look down and I see that number come up, I just got my stomach started moving. I was like, yo, I don't feel good.
Yeah, I mean it's almost time because I had to email one of my, well, she become one of my favorite people now. Had to make sure to update some different stuff. So yeah, it's getting real. It's almost time for this 2023-2024 school year. So, and forgive me, I've been coughing and I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm getting old. I don't know.
Oh no, but yo, you can find me at Dope Enterprise on Facebook, Dope Enterprise on YouTube, Dope Dot Enterprise on Instagram. This weekend, I will be in Daytona at CEO, which is CEO game tournament, the first major tournament for Street Fighter Six. I will be there in the building in Daytona, just kicking good shit. Now I always say, I want to travel with these tournaments, and so this is my first time being able to since final rounds not here in Atlanta. RIP the final round. um and it's one of those type things where that's all I got, man. Like I said, be looking out for us. I will be back in town Monday, so anytime after Monday, be looking out for us. We could be right here. Also, big shouts out to Cat and Saga Boss for the You Matter in the City Award for Catrice Austin Fields Day. That was a big thing. Like I said, those pictures will be up soon enough. And so yeah. Oh, there we go. Boom. I was honored. That's right. I was honored that like I said,
That's dope.
I was honored that shit, I can't even think of it now. You Matter in the City, and That's a big thing. Like I said, the pictures will be up soon enough, so y'all can be able to like, man, what is he talking about? Don't worry, the pictures will be up soon enough. And like I said, big shouts out to them for that privilege and for that honor. I salute y'all as well. My boy Slim said he want a PS5. Me too, but tuition costs money, so my PS5 it'll probably be on 7 by the time I get a 5. It is what it is. I don't have the patience for these kids. I salute y'all. Yeah, it's a hard job. But I end this show like I end all the other shows. Imitation is a sincere form of flattery that mediocrity can pay to greatness. I am DJ Agony. That is Miss Parker. She gives good advice. And I'm out. Peace.